Live fireworks between the Twins and the Royals began last night in Kansas City in this matchup of the top two teams in the AL Central. Let's go to the bottom of the 10th inning.
Only two teams left in Major League Baseball that haven't had a walk-off. The Royals and the Yankees. Time to change that.
Little tap. Kane to the plate. He is safe!
A nice way to help set the scene on an absolutely gorgeous night, an unseasonably cool night here from Kansas City. It's the Royals and the Twins from beautiful Kauffman Stadium. We'll take a look at the American League Central standings. The Royals, one of the best teams in baseball, in first place, and the surprising Minnesota Twins hanging right in there in second place in the Central standings. Good evening and happy July 4th. So glad you could join us from Kauffman Stadium. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Hall of Famer Burt Blyleven. The one you just saw last night for the Royals, that snapped a 4-game losing streak, and a losing streak where the Royals scored only 6 runs. Meanwhile, for the Twins, a team as you just saw in second place, but it's kind of been a step forward and a step backwards. They haven't won back-to-back games in essentially 2 weeks, Burt. And as we take a look at tonight's starting pitching matchup, this is a story of 2 pitchers on a comeback path, and we'll start with Joe Blanton for Kansas City.
Yeah, first of all, happy 4th of July, everybody. Everybody be safe out here. And there's 2 veterans on the mound here this afternoon. For the Kansas City Royals, it'll be Joe Blanton. Last year at this time, he was bottling wine at his winery in Kentucky. He's making his 4th start of the year. And on your right, that'll be Big Mike Pelfrey, 6'7". He's making his 16th start of the year. Last year at this time, he was recovering from his 2nd elbow surgery.
Should be a good one here tonight on Independence Day. And last year, the Kansas City Royals were baseball's surprise team, making it all the way to Game 7 of the World Series. This season, they've kept up the plate pace, leading the American League Central, but the Twins are this year's surprise, just behind Kansas City in the division. It's the Twins and the Royals. Baseball night in America next on Fox. Before as we take a look at the starting lineup pinned in by Hall of Fame manager Paul Molitor. Lead off with second baseman Brian Dozier, then Joe Mauer at first batting second. Torrey Hunter, the immortal one, back with the Twins in right field. And then Plouffe, Rosario. Sano recently called up from Double-A in the minor leagues, one of the best power hitting prospects in the game. Then it's Hicks, Herman, and Danny Santana rounding out the order for the Twins. Take a look at the numbers here for righty Joe Blanton, 34 years old, born in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now his 11th season in the majors, makes his offseason home in Tennessee, and a man who began the season signing a minor league contract and then going to the bullpen with Kansas City, and now in the rotation. And we can see the scouting report, Bert.
Yeah, replacing Ventura in the rotation. Ventura about ready to come off the disabled list, so this might be Blanton's last start for the Royals. He last faced the Twins. This is his 12th career start against the Twins when he was with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim back in 2013. Always been a bulldog on the mound. This is his 252nd major league start, so a lot of experience on the mound here today for both sides with Pelfrey and Joe Blanton.
And right away facing Brian Dozier, an all-star caliber second baseman.
Yeah, Dozier having an all-star type year for the Minnesota Twins.
Jumps on the first pitch and picks up the base hit. Nice way to start for Minnesota. And Bert, how about we take a look at the Royals defense?
Well, you want to be strong up the middle. And that's one thing Kansas City relies on. Good pitching and great defense, and nobody better behind the plate than Salvador Perez. It's Escobar and Infante up the middle. They can turn that double play with the best of them. And then one of the best young center fielders in Kane out in center.
And Kane seems like he just continues to get better and better as now Joe Mauer digs in. So one pitch and one base runner already for Minnesota. Mauer taken #1 overall back in 2001, a native out of St. Paul.
Yeah, Joe already in his 12th season with the Twins, came up in 2004, 6-time All-Star, 3-time batting champ, American League MVP in 2009. And Blanton, a guy that relies on now, not that fastball he once had at 94 to 96. Now he's between 90 and 94. Little cutter. He'll throw a breaking ball like a curveball, slider, and a changeup. As you mentioned, Aaron, signed a minor league contract and really just was trying to revise his career, and ended up, now pitching in the big leagues.
Mauer stings this to right field. It sends Rios back. Rios looks up, and there it goes. Mauer will touch them all, and a quick 2-0 lead for Minnesota.
For Joe Mauer, his 5th home run of the year.
And he's not a guy, Bert, that hits a lot of home runs.
Well, he did in his final year at the Dome when he hit 28 home runs, but Target Field has been a little bit too big for Joe. But here, a big ballpark. Joe catching up to that fastball, and a rare pull of a fastball by Joe Mauer, and it goes over the right field fence, so the Twins take an early 2-0 lead.
There's Torrey Hunter. Hunter returning back to his roots, signing a 1-year deal with the Twins, 39 years old, in his 19th, if you can believe it, major league season.
Yeah, he'll be turning 40 here on the 18th of July.
Routine play out to center field. Kane tracks it down.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Paul Molitor before the game and asked him about Torrey Hunter. He just said his professionalism and what he brought to the ballpark every day, such an important part of rebuilding, and that's kind of what the Twins are doing this year. They've retooled their starting staff, and they've brought up a lot of young kids that are getting an opportunity to get their feet wet at the major league level.
And the rotation has been maybe the biggest turnaround point for the Twins this year, as Plouffe steps in. Plouffe, a guy that probably doesn't get a whole lot of national talk, but seems to kind of be coming into his own a little bit, Bert.
Well, when he signed with the Twins back in 2004, he was basically a shortstop out of high school in Southern California. They converted him over to third base, and last year he made some errors, but this year he's taken a lot of pride in his defense at third base. He's made it only 5 errors over there, but a guy that can generate the ball out of the ballpark. That's what the Twins are looking for.
He has the most home runs in the young history of Target Field. Check swing there, goes around by plenty.
Yeah, Trevor, 29 years old. He's in his 6th season with the Twins. Twins #1 pick in 2004. He was a 20th pick overall in that draft. And he'll be taking some time off later this month in July. His wife Olivia is expecting their first child. So Trevor wants to get that average up as high as he can while he takes some time off to be with a new daddy.
Special time at home. They appealed out at first base, but it's a full count. Plouffe looking for his first hit in this series tonight, game 3. Joe Mauer making this a 2-0 ball game. Hard hit, and that has been the story early on here tonight against Blanton as Plouffe checks in with a single.
Well, I don't care how experienced you are as a pitcher. Joe Blanton knows he cannot live down the heart of the plate. He did to Joe Mauer, and that pitch right there to Trevor Plouffe. Good solid swing by Plouffe, and you've got a 4-time Gold Glove winner out of left field. He got that ball in quickly to keep Plouffe at first base, that being Alex Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon really sets the example in left field for anybody. 1 out, 1 on now for Rosario. If you go back 2 starts ago for Blanton, he had a fantastic outing at Safeco Field against the Mariners. 6 innings, only 1 run on 2 hits, didn't give a home run to Robinson Cano. But then his latest start, that was on the road in Houston, he was shelled, did not escape the 3rd inning. 5 runs, 5 hits. He walked 3 in 1 frame. And a home run to Altuve in that start.
As I said, Blanton kind of filling in for Ventura as he's recovering from some elbow injury.
And that has been a storyline for the Royals here in the first half. Pitching with a slimmed down rotation. Danny Duffy will get to start tomorrow in the finale, but Duffy was on the disabled list for some time. He missed about 40 games.
Yeah, Blanton making his 12th career start against the Twins. 5 wins, 6 losses, an ERA at 4.0 over his career. He last faced the Twins when he was with the Angels. But he faced the Twins when he was with Oakland, when he first came up with Oakland. He also faced the Twins with the Phillies and the Angels, and now here at the Royals. And on the 4th of July, this is the 4th time he's pitched on the 4th of July.
You can see Ned Yost, now the all-time winningest manager in Royals history. That happened a short while ago.
You know, there were a lot of managers under me that never wanted me to pitch on the 4th of July because.
Now, why would you say that?
Well,
Bert?
there's fireworks after. They didn't want fireworks during the game.
I see what you did there. I think more times than not, it probably worked out for you.
Oh, maybe. There's Ned Yost right there. He's been here now for 6 seasons as manager of the Royals. Also 6 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers back in 2003 to 2008.
I pop up foul territory. Moustakas runs out of room. This has been a lengthy first inning for Blanton. 2-run homer. Goes off the bat of Bauer. Dozier the single. Plouffe the single, hard hit as well. And the 7th pitch coming up to Rosario. A little number, Moustakas, a bare hand play, and it won't be nearly in time off the mark. Rosario, an infield single.
Well, Rosario having a good at-bat and just kind of squids one down that 3rd baseline. Moustakas playing a pretty deep 3rd base. He had no play on this. Take a look at where Moustakas is. He's got to try to get the ball. And even though I don't know why he would throw that ball over to Hosmer. I know they're good friends, but he's got to hold on to that ball right there. So Blanton having a tough time here in the 1st inning.
Salvador Perez checks in.
Blanton has 87 major league wins, 90 losses, 8 complete games, 3 shutouts, 2 of them actually coming against the Twins over in his career.
And this brings in 22-year-old Miguel Sano. He's a third baseman by trade, but will be DHing most of the time with Plouffe at third for the Twins. And Bert, this is a young man out of the Dominican Republic, which the Twins called right up from Double-A after missing all of last year with Tommy John surgery, believe it or not, and they have some very high hopes for his power. He is enormous.
Yeah, the Twins are very high on Miguel Sano, only 22 years old. They list him at 6'4", 265. He's a monster.
Lines it through the left side. Plouffe gets the stop sign at third base, and the Twins have him loaded up early against Blanton.
Well, we don't like to show where that pitch is, but if you live down, you got Blanton's a guy you got to live on the corners. Again, a pitch right there, and Miguel Sano does not miss it. He hits it sharply, and Dave Island, the pitching coach, is on his way out to try to settle down his right-hander.
Well, on this July 4th, the Mariners, both the Twins and the Royals, with some very special uniforms and caps. The caps for the first time in recent history, but all of the proceeds, the net proceeds from the sale of the caps and the jerseys, will be donated to welcome back veterans. Proceeds of that go to grants to university hospitals throughout the country to help treat PTSD, and Major League Baseball has donated over $30 million to that already. So nice initiative we see here today with the caps and the jersey tops as well.
Very nice, very nice. Baseball gives so much back.
High chopper off the right side. Only play on to first base. So Hicks is out, and with that, another run in. Plouffe scoring from third.
Yeah, bases loaded right there. Aaron Hicks picking up just his 4th RBI as Trevor Plouffe scores the 3rd run of the inning. Rosario and Sano advance to 3rd and 2nd.
So finally out number 2, as Blanton is already facing batter number 8 of this first inning. It's Chris Herman.
It's usually Kurt Suzuki that plays about 5-6 times a week, but here this afternoon, Chris Herman, the backup catcher, getting some at-bats, and he'll catch Mike Pelfrey. Herman in his 4th season with the Twins, first season that he has broke camp with the Twins out of spring training. Young man, only 27 years old, that can play any position. Not only a great catcher in college at University of Miami, as a 3rd baseman.
Moustakis on the prowl, and a foul ball.
Sometimes you look at backup catchers and you see a low batting average, and you wonder why, but that's the reason they're backup catchers. They don't get to hit that often. They can take all the batting practice they want, but you can't beat live pitching. And when you have a guy like, say, Perez or Suzuki, 2 very good receivers between these 2 ball clubs, you don't get a lot of playing time. For the Royals now, it's Drew Butera, and he might play once a week if he's lucky, because Perez doesn't want to come out of the game.
Perez is a horse, as Herman just gets a piece, and not many at-bats for Herman. And if you're a backup catcher behind Salvador Perez, you might be lucky to play a few times a month. Really.
And he's a big horse. You know what I mean? He's, Suzuki's kind of small, maybe 6 foot, or Perez, he's at 6'3", about 245. But he gets down very nicely for that pitcher. Give him a good low target. Now he wants it up in the zone.
Bert, talking with a home plate umpire recently after he called balls and strikes behind Salvador Perez, the question was, how can you see the strike zone so well with a catcher that is that enormous as Salvador Perez? And he had a very interesting way of looking at it. He said, when Perez needs to get small, he can get small. And when he needs to get big to, for example, block a pitch in the dirt, he can do that easily. And the athleticism that he has for a man his size is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, even the home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale, you can see the size difference right there.
Perez a Gold Glove each of the last 2 years. An All-Star the last 2 seasons as well.
Yeah, Blanton, this will be pitch number 28 here in the 1st inning.
2 outs, 2 on.
He's already allowed 5 hits. The highlight, the 2-run home run by Mauer.
And he finally gets Herman a long top of the first for Joe Blanton. And the Twins got it started early. Dozier the leadoff single on the first pitch. And Joe Mauer with a rocket out to right field. The Twins have an early 3-0 lead. Taken an early 3-0 lead. We take a look at the starting lineup by Ned Yost and Alcides Escobar leading things off. Mike Moustakas, a complete bounce back season from a tough one last year. Lorenzo Cain, one of the top hitters in the American League. Hosmer, Morales, and then the Gold Glover Alex Gordon. Another Gold Glover, Salvador Perez, Rios, and then Infante rounding out the order as we take a look now at Mike Pelfrey. Pelfrey making start number 16 on the season, a sub-4 earned run average. And Bert, how about a look at the scouting report for Pelfrey?
He's really been one of the most consistent starters for the Twins. It's been frustrating last season. A couple of years ago, the Tommy John, then he had another surgery. He's got a new grip on his split finger. We'll go over the grip as the game goes on. And coming off his shortest start this season, when he worked only 2+ innings against the Cincinnati Reds and gave up 8 runs. So he's looking to redeem himself here this afternoon.
You're right. It's been a little bit of an odd few starts for Pelfrey. He's allowed 8 earned runs in 2 of his last 4 starts. And you put that into perspective, Pelfrey had never given up 8 earned runs since his days with the Mets, not since 2009. Escobar, a slow chopper, and it's there in time.
Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins defensively. Again, up the middle, Chris Herman, it's usually Suzuki back there, but very strong up the middle as far as Brian Dozier. Danny Santana's committed 13 errors, so they're hoping that Santana can relax a little, take a deep breath, and then Aaron Hicks getting another opportunity to be the center fielder. Pretty good defensive ball club for the Twins. They've committed 46 errors compared to the 41 by the Royals.
Pelfrey to face Moustakas now. The first pitch into center field. And the cheers for Moose rain down from a sellout crowd here inside the game.
Moustakas has really done a damage to the Twins pitching staff this year. And that fastball right there. Now Mike Pelfrey will give up more hits to innings pitched, coming in 97 hits in 88 innings pitched. But what he's been able to do is get some ground ball double plays. 17 ground ball double plays turned behind Pelfrey this year. Only his teammate Kyle Gibson has had more turned behind him. So good defense behind the starters for the Twins.
Now you're right, those two have been the best in the big league so far this year in that category. 1 out, 1 on for Lorenzo Cain. Cain entering tonight 7th in the American League in batting average, hitting .305, and like a number of these Royals hitters, you do not want him to reach for his base. He can really cause havoc.
Tremendous speed. He's leading the Royals with 16 stolen bases. And Moustakas at first, not a base stealing threat. The Royals do like the run. They've stolen 46 bases. They've been caught 17 times.
That's what really stands out, isn't it? The net steals, the steal percentage, because you can steal a lot of bags, but if you get caught stealing, it in some ways kind of wipes away the effect of getting to second base or third to begin with.
Yeah, and you steal most of your bases off of the pitcher. Mike Pelfrey, 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts off of him. But he's pretty quick home. He'll utilize that slide step. And what we were talking about?
Santana to Dozier. Plenty of time on to first. And make it 18 ground ball double plays this season for Pelfrey as we go to the top of the second. Sponsored by Budweiser. Make plans to make it home. Glad you can join us. Very happy July 4th from Kansas City. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven. Tonight, game 3 of this 4-game series. It's split right now, 1 game apiece. Royals and Twins. And, well, safe to say, Bert Blanton looking for a bounce back inning here in the second. 28 pitches, 5 hits in the first.
Yeah, he needs to get ahead in the count. Hopefully get some quick contact off the bats of the Twins so he can go deeper in the ball game, and that's what Dave Island and Ned Yost hope, that Blanton can get at least 5 or 6 innings here this afternoon.
Well, the Twins had 5 hits in total last night. They picked up 5 in the first inning. Line drive, right field, another base hit, making number 6. Santana puts out the Jets as he motors into second base at a stand-up double.
Well, Blanton just leaving way too many pitches out over the plate, and Danny Santana with his speed, you're thinking triple. I'm sure he is right here. Anytime a ball is hit down the line. Again, another pitch left up, and Santana, who has been struggling at the plate, hits his 8th double. And tremendous speed from Danny Santana, only 24 years old, from the Dominican Republic. He did a great job last year for the Twins, but struggling up and down this year between Rochester and Minnesota.
Already facing Dozier for the second time. And some early activity near the bullpen as Finnegan, a former TCU star and postseason star last year for the Royals, getting loose. A comebacker. Blanton makes eyes at second base. Dozier out number 1. Tomorrow, the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup Final is here, and it's a rematch 4 years in the making as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on defending champion Japan to see who will be crowned a champion this year. Coverage begins tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
You know, Aaron, both of these clubs have been struggling as far as scoring runs over the last week. Kansas City won last night, but they had lost 4 straight. They got swept by the Astros, and then here they got shut out on Thursday night by Cal Gibson, a 2-0 shutout. So those little things like that, even though the Twins have a 3-run lead, Brian Dozier's at-bat is an unproductive out. He doesn't advance the leadoff double. And when you're struggling scoring runs, you have to do those little things.
Especially if you've got the opposing starter against the ropes, like the Twins do early.
Well, you can't rely on Joe Mauer hitting another 2-run home run. You know, maybe Joe could hit a ball deep enough to allow Santana to score if he was at third base. Now Joe Mauer has to try to drive him in with a base hit.
Well, he has crushed Blanton in his career, nearly a .430 hitter and about 30 at-bats.
Yeah, Joe, 12 hits and 28 at-bats, now with 2 career home runs against Blanton. Joe came into the season, Mauer did, a .319 career hitter. I think everybody in Minnesota saying, what's wrong with Joe Mauer? He's only hitting .260, .270. A lot of guys would like to be hitting .260 or .270.
I will go back and take a look at that power swing by Mauer in the first inning. Dozier had the leadoff single, and then right away, Mauer did this.
Well, the high fastball right there allowed Joe Mauer to extend those arms for his 5th home run of the year. And his 2nd against a right-handed pitcher. To the other 3 home runs coming off of lefties. Nice block by Perez. So important for a pitcher when you have a catcher that's able to block that pitch. You try to throw that curveball and not there. You try to throw it on the other side of home plate. But Perez did a good job of knocking that ball down and keeping it in front of him.
Not a pitch that Blanton throws a whole lot, but fine stop by Perez. 1 out, 1 on. And Mauer goes swinging right through it.
Good off-speed pitch right there. Had a little tail on it, almost like a little screwball. Perfectly placed to Joe Mauer. See that tail, almost like a 2-seamer? And it came in at 85, and Joe swinging through it. 2nd strikeout for Blanton.
2 outs for Torrey Hunter.
I got a kick out of reading Joe Blanton's bio that he made the All-Star team, or the varsity baseball team as a 7th grader. He lettered in 6-7 years at high school on varsity baseball because they didn't have a big school.
That's
so
incredible.
They were looking for kids to play. So he lettered as a 7th grader.
Is that even legal today?
Probably in Bowling Green, Kentucky it is.
Sure. They call it the Blanton rule.
Well, I mentioned last year, Torrey Hunter, I mean, he's in his first year with the Twins. He's brought back a lot of energy with him. Even at the experience that he has, 19 major league seasons now for Torrey. This guy comes to the ballpark early. He loves the game. Such a good mentor. And he got the baton from Kirby Puckett. And he's carried that baton now, and he's giving it to Aaron Hicks or Byron Buxton or whoever else he feels necessary. Just shows his leadership.
And that'll be it for Hunter. Back-to-back strikeouts. And a runner left stranded at second base. We go to the bottom of the 2nd here at Kauffman Stadium. mobile. Switch to the Data Strong network. Now we're on to the bottom of the second inning, and it's nice to welcome in Game 1 starter Kyle Gibson. Kyle, thanks for joining us. Happy July 4th.
Hey, happy 4th to everybody else as well. It's been a lot of fun out here so far today.
Hey, Kyle, good job the other night. How do you feel today after throwing 114 pitches? Good to see your arm is still intact.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Been pretty chilly today so far. Raining on the field down here a little bit, but been feeling pretty good. Threw a bullpen today, and it went pretty well.
You're going to have to take cover soon, we realize.
Yeah.
But this has been a fantastic first half for you, Kyle, as we see Hosmer get a leadoff single. You're just over 100 innings pitched at this point. You went 8 scoreless. Your ERA is just a couple of ticks above 3 to begin the season. What has been working so well for you up on the mound this year?
You know what? I can't really point to too many things in particular. My fastball command's been a lot better. And when I'm getting ahead of hitters, then it's been a lot better as well, just overall the game as a whole. But you know what? I think I've been just trying to really work on consistency, start to start, having a lot less, 4 or less inning starts, because those are the ones that not only kill your season but also kill the team as a whole. If once every 5 days that the bullpen's got to wear 6 or 7 innings and the offense is not in the game after 3 innings, it always makes it a little bit harder.
Now, Kyle, we saw Mike Pelfrey pick up his 18th double play ball, and he's now tied for you. Are you guys having a little contest?
You know what? I think that's a good idea, because if we can start that, then maybe Mike can buy me something real nice at the end of the year. That'd be great.
You're already calling the victory, we see.
I mean, if we're actually competing for something, then I'll try to step it up a little bit. Maybe walk a couple extra guys and try to set those up.
Now, last year you were 13-12, 31 starts, worked almost 180 innings. Here's a fly ball that's foul. A high ERA, 4.47. How much did last year? I know there were so many good starts, but then there were not bad starts. And you in spring training even mentioned, I want to be more consistent this year. How much did last year, your first full year, help?
It helped out a lot. And I think even the struggles that I had in 2013 helped me in 2014. So being able to make that step this year and try to really, not just talk about limiting damage, but actually limit it and use my changeup more, which has been a big factor in limiting that as well. But I mean, you can get very easily pitching on the defensive instead of being the aggressor. And I think in certain times, I've been doing a lot better job of attacking even when I am in trouble. And, allowing myself to still make pitches and just execute a little bit better by being a little bit more comfortable in those situations and being a little bit more relaxed.
Now, you pitched 8 shutout innings here the other night. You have a very good record against the Royals. Any reason why? Is it because you came out of the University of Missouri?
I wish I could say that, no. But I'm not really sure. It was pretty cool to make my debut against them, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. But, it could just be, my approach and their approach, matches up well. I'm not really sure. They got me a couple times earlier this year, so I kind of just had to get them back a little bit the other day.
Well, I got to be honest, this is a pitcher's ballpark. Wouldn't you consider this a pitcher's ballpark with the dimensions that are here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the one thing that could hurt pitchers a little bit is how much ground is in the outfield. Mm-hmm. It makes those balls in the gap a little bit harder to get to. But, no doubt, if you're a guy that keeps the ball in the ballpark, this is the park for you because, you're not going to give up too many big flies here.
Yeah, we were told by Ned Yost before the ballgame there's more square footage in the outfield here than any other ballpark.
Wow. I mean, I believe
a lot
it.
Of room.
You look at those gaps out there, and they're deep. And, even right at both the bullpens, it goes out from the foul pole really quick.
Talk a little bit about Neil Allen, what he has brought. I know, Rick Anderson, God bless him, he did a great job what he had. But Neil Allen seems to have stepped up and taught you guys that throw that changeup a little bit more in spring training?
Yeah, I mean, I think he went to a few guys that he knew, had changeups that they were comfortable with, and talked to them about using that in certain situations. And I was one of those guys. And as soon as I, first met Neil over the phone and talked to him in December, that was one thing that I brought up with him, and that he brought up with me. And that was something that I wanted to do last year. And I really only did it once against Baltimore. But I just didn't have the chance in the middle of a season to be experimenting with pitches. So that was one thing that he and I talked a lot about this spring training, and I've really been able to get more comfortable with, especially executing those to right-hand hitters.
Well, there's that split finger that Mike Pelfrey has really mastered this year. Very, very good strikeout right there of Morales on a good splitter. Well, we're showing some highlights of your outing the other night, Kyle, and it seemed like you were at that balance point so nicely throughout the whole ball game, and you got that downward plane throughout the game.
Yeah, you know, one thing that I've been really trying to do is just get a little bit more extension on my fastball, and what that's allowed me to do is just have a little bit better command. You know, my release point's been, you know, pretty consistent, and just been trying to work on that quite a bit in the bullpens in between starts. And you know, a lot of it is getting to glove side, because extension to glove side is a little bit harder than throwing arm side. So you know, kind of having that catcher set up on the corner, or even a little bit off the corner on the left-handed hitter side of the plate, and you know, really just try to get a little bit better extension and get out there. Let me ask you, Kyle, you got a great changeup, but everything keys off the fastball, but your changeup looks like the fastball. Do you hold it the same? Yeah, I hold it a two-seam grip, just with my middle finger and ring finger instead of my index finger and my middle finger. And I circle my index finger and then my thumb, and then, you know, I really just put my fingers on the right side of the two seams as you're looking at the ball, and what that allows me to do is just roll it off, and I really don't have to turn it over or anything, because the pressure from my fingers naturally kind of pronates that and allows it to go down and away from a lefty. We have a lot of youngsters that, you know, I recommend not a curveball till you get a little bit older and your elbow, you know, gets stronger. That's the changeup that is such a good pitch for young kids, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. My dad, he was my pitching coach basically up until high school, and that was one thing that he always stressed on me is I need to be able to throw the changeup. I never. Yeah, that breaking ball getting away from Chris Herman, and Pelfrey will be charged for a wild pitch. That allows Hosmer to move to second base with one out. You know, I was never the guy that threw really, really hard, so you know, I had to have a changeup to go with the fastball, and my dad was the same way. He said, "Hey, you're not going to throw curveballs or sliders or anything until you're 13, 14 years old," and I really think that allowed me to have a changeup that, you know, I even used in high school and early on in college. So, and then as I got older, I just tried to get, you know, develop a little bit better feel for it, and you know, not really look at it as my third and fourth pitch, but, you know, look at it as 2A and 2B with my slider. Yeah, don't get too old. We like you young, okay? It happens too fast.
Hey, Kyle, you have a new manager this year, and a manager with the Plaque at Cooperstown and Paul Molitor. What has it been like under Molitor this first season? Yeah, I mean, you know, same thing with Andy. You know, no disrespect to Gardy, because, you know, he was my first manager, and he'll always have that special place in my career. But, you know, playing for Molly has been a lot of fun as well. And, you know, when he walks in and takes the job, you know, his playing career demands respect, just like you just talked about being in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, we've had a lot of chances to get used to him because of, you know, him working in the minor leagues. Well, Kyle, you have been wonderful to talk to. We really appreciate your time, and well done in Game 1 of the series. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Good talking with you guys.
Thank you. We saw Pelfrey just pick up his second strikeout, a pitch that he will throw inside, and it'll come back over the inside part of the plate. Will that umpire give it to you or not? Take a look at this two-seamer that comes back, and Lance Barksdale says that's a strike.
Now, Pelfrey has been peppering the strike zone. 19 pitches, 16 of those for strikes. And you can see what he has done in his career when he gets a 3-run lead, and that happened before he even took the mound. A 3-run first for the Twins.
Yeah, we thank Kyle Gibson for spending some time with us.
Could he have described the changeup any better than that, Bert? That was wonderful.
You know, what's great is that we had, when he's explaining the changeup, we had it exactly what he was talking about, how the ball comes out of his hand.
And he's still under fire. You know, Perkins and company really went pretty easy on him, all things considered. That could have been a lot worse. A soft chopper.
Oh, boy.
And to no man's land. Tough play, and not nearly in time, even for Perez to beat it out.
Yeah, that's a ball that Chris Herman made. He looked like he got something in his eye, maybe some mud or something. But that's a play. Herman still shaking his head, trying to get something out of his eye. Dave Prumer, the trainer, going to come out. But take a look at this right here. Herman right away, he doesn't know where the ball is. And then something, I'm going to guess some mud got in his eye. It's very muddy down in front of home plate. Trying to wash out that, looks like the right eye. That was Pelfrey that had to come in and field that kind of a swinging bunt. And Perez doesn't get too many infield hits. He legged that out.
Yeah. You don't say that often about Salvador Perez. It's like a locomotive running to first base.
Watch Herman's reaction right here as we show this back. See, he kind of turned to his right away. Something got caught in his eye right off the get-go. So So Pelfrey runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Alex Rios up.
Hosmer at third, Perez at first base. Rios missing a lot of time, 7 weeks on the disabled list. An injury hurt that he suffered against the Twins, a pitch on the wrist, and he was off to such a fine start.
Yeah, he really was. He was swinging the bat well in his first season here in Kansas City. And J.R. Graham came in with bases loaded, a Rule 5 player. On the first pitch, ended up hitting his left hand, breaking his left hand. And really, since Rios has come back, he just hasn't been what the Royals hope he will be as the summer goes on.
The first pitch to Santana, the short way, and that'll do it for out number 3. Well, we'll return to Kansas City after a word from your local Fox station. Of Major League Baseball. On to the top of the 3rd inning, where the Twins are holding an early 3-run lead. All 3 runs coming to the first, highlighted by Joe Mauer's 5th home run of the season, a 2-run shot as Plouffe begin things facing Joe Blanton.
Yeah, Joe Blanton had a better 2nd inning. He did give up the leadoff hit to Santana, but then able to retire the next 3 batters, Dozier, Mauer, and Hunter, 2 of them on strikeouts, Mauer and Hunter.
If you remember watching Blanton pitch back in 2013 when he was with the Angels, had a really rough year. He had about 70 more hits than innings pitched. You can hardly recognize him as you look at him right there. He's lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 pounds as this gets waffled into the corner and left field, a base hit. As Plouffe stumbles a little bit around first base, and he's able to still coast into second safely.
Yeah, Alex Gordon had a little trouble picking that ball up, but Trevor Plouffe will be satisfied with a double. This is an 0-2 pitch. And as a pitcher, this is kind of a no-no, a breaking ball that just stayed right up in the zone. And Plouffe hammers it into the corner. And again, the Gold Glove winner over there. Tried to barehand it, the ball got away, but Plouffe stayed at second base. It's a double the whole way. Gordon has not made an error out there. Plouffe hustles to third. It maybe would have been his first error. We just saw Plouffe kind of stumble around, but Blanton getting hit around. 7 hits so far.
Rosario the bunt, Blanton on to third. Moustakas to tag, and Plouffe is out.
Well, not a good bunt by Rosario. He bunted that ball too hard and right back to Blanton. And Moustakas backing up. He catches the throw on the infield side and then tags out the sliding Trevor Plouffe. So I'm sure Salvador Perez out there screaming at him, third base, because you're, as a pitcher, you come in, your back is to Trevor Plouffe or to that runner at second. So you have to rely on your catcher to be yelling at you. And Perez told Blanton to throw to third. He did, and he got the lead run.
That brings in Sano. Picked up his first big league hit in game one. Of all things, an infield single for a power hitter. Then his first RBI in last night's game.
Well, Blanton, 34 years old, Oakland's #1 pick back in 2002 out of the University of Kentucky.
Sano off the hands, a line drive. Escobar's throw on to second. First and it's there in time. A stiff double play ball off the bat of Sano. And that quickly wraps up the top of the third. We'll take another look. Escobar right on the money to first, and that'll be all she wrote for the Twins in the third. Independence Day. Twins with an early 3-0 lead over the Kansas City Royals.
As everybody be safe out there.
No doubt. Omar Infante leading things off, the #9 hitting second baseman for the Royals.
Yeah, Infante, one of the veterans here for the Kansas City Royals. This is his 14th major league season. His second season with the Royals. Came up with the Tigers, spent time with the Braves, the Marlins. Infante always a good hitter, career .276 hitter. Fonte, very good numbers against Mike Pelfrey. 16 hits and 39 at bats. That's a .410 batting average. You know, one thing you see Pelfrey getting back on that mound. One thing baseball did is they sped up. They said to the pitcher, you got to get quicker on the mound to speed up the game. And that really helped, I think, the fans when Mike Pelfrey's on the mound. Because when he was on the Mets, he would take sometimes 30, 40, 50 seconds between pitches. And I think it's made him a better pitcher.
Club to center field, but Hicks right there for the routine out number 1. And during the inning break, we had a chance to talk things over with Ned Yost, the manager of the Royals, and we asked him what he saw early tonight from Joe Blanton.
Well, he started to make a little bit of an adjustment mechanically right there. You know, the first 2 pitches to Plouffe where he was back in his delivery and then ended up hanging a breaking ball for the double. But, you know, he's grinding it out. He's grinding it through. And, you know, good veteran pitchers will do that.
Hey, Ned, you know, we had a chance to talk before the ball game about the energy level that these players brought with them in spring training. Can you talk a little bit about how, you know, what last year, even though you lost the World Series, what it meant to these guys coming into spring training this year?
Well, it meant a lot. You know, those guys experienced, you know, the thrill of a lifetime going through the playoffs, and all winter long they felt that they were proud of what they accomplished, but they weren't satisfied with it, and they wanted to taste it again. And from the first day of spring training on, they've had a lot of focus, a lot of passion for the game, and a lot of energy they play with. They want to get back.
Ned, great talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
That's good stuff from Ned Yost, the all-time winningest manager in Royals history, passing Hall of Famer Whitey Herzog. And some really interesting things that we learned in that conversation with Ned, and also before the game in his office. Bert, he really lit up when talking about spring training and how special of a time that was for his Royals players. They did not take anything for granted.
You know what, and when you have the taste of going to postseason and going as far as the Royals did to Game 7 of the World Series, you go home and you feel, okay, yeah, that was fun, but I want that World Series trophy. I don't want to lose in Game 7. I want to win.
Out number 2 to right field. Tomorrow on ESPN, it's the Esurance All-Star Selection Show, and starters for both teams will be announced, with the reserves being announced on Monday. Then on July 13th, it's the 2015 Gillette Home Run Derby presented by Head & Shoulders. And it all leads up to the Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox.
You know, as the Giants were celebrating their victory, the Royals went home probably a little more determined. And I think that's what Ned was so excited about, what he saw in spring training, that these kids, he said even the fundamentals, you know, just going through the PFPs and everything, everybody had that high energy right from the day one. That's pretty cool.
Meanwhile, as we take a look at Mike Moustakas, it's hard to think of many batters in the American League that have turned the course as much from last year to this year as Moustakas. Last year at one point optioned down to AAA Omaha. He hit .212 to end the season, and he enters today batting the 9th highest average in the league, batting .303.
Well, he's hitting the ball the other way. He's using the whole field. Last year he was trying to pull everything. Now he's taking that pitch the other way to left field. Actually, more of his hits have been to left field than they have been to center or right.
He said before that was his biggest emphasis over the offseason. It's paid off. You can see the graphic right here.
You see the 32 hits to left, 26, 28. So he is using the whole field. Take another look where most of his hits have gone. And that's a good sign for a good hitter. And that's why he's hitting over 300. And you said last year he hit .212 in 140 games.
And a walk. Pelfrey's first. In fact, Pelfrey had not had a 2-ball count to a batter before giving up ball 4 to Moustakas. Extends the inning for Lorenzo Cain.
You see Mike Pelfrey, the first 11 starts, outstanding. Of course, 2 of the last 4 starts, he gave up 8 runs in 2 of those 4 starts. 1 to the Texas Rangers in Texas, and then the one that we talked about, his last outing in Cincinnati.
And those 2 starts have really skewed his splits. He's a sub-2 ERA at home. He's nearly a 6 earned run average on the road.
Well, 9 of his 15 starts have been quality starts. What's a quality start? Where a pitcher pitches 6 innings, gives up 3 earned runs or less. And the Twins are 9-6 in his 15 starts.
Is that really a quality start?
No, to me, a quality start is 7 innings, 2 earned runs or less. You want a real quality start. But it's a different game. I don't like the 100 pitch count. Want to keep going? I think it should have been 120.
Well, the over-under on Lilev bringing up pitch count, if we're in the bottom of the third. So mark the boards in the living room.
These kids are bigger and stronger than we were. They should be able to go deeper because they have extra days rest too.
Spoils it foul to make it 1-2.
Ned Yost also told us that one of the biggest trades they made over the last couple 2-3 years was getting this guy and Escobar, Kane and Escobar, from the Milwaukee Brewers. That happening back in 2010 when they traded Zach Greinke to the Brewers. That kind of set the stage for some leadership at short and a leadership in the outfield.
Tied to the line and a fair ball. Moustakas hits second. He makes a turn out at third. Kane easily extra bases. And with 2 outs, the Royals have 2 in scoring position.
I have no say on who makes the All-Star team or who doesn't, or Brian Dozier would be in it, but also this guy would be in it. He's kind of the leader of the Royals as far as just coming and playing hard every day. High fastball. It just takes that pitch just to the left of Joe Mauer as he hopped out. The ball was hit behind him. So Kane with his 17th double of the year puts runners at second and third, but there are 2 outs for Mike Pelfrey.
First extra base hit allowed by Pelfrey tonight. Gave up his first walk of the game as well in this inning. That is what extended the third to bring in Kane. And here's Hosmer. The Royals have been so good this year in clutch situations like this right now. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, and Hosmer has been one of them to lead the charge. He's batting nearly 3 1/4 in situations like this.
Hosmer slid into second base over in Oakland and jammed his left ring finger, and he did not play in that Houston series. He's a big part of their offense. Trying to pitch Hosmer inside. Both pitches in, up and in. Hosmer, 25 years old, 2-time Gold Glove winner the last couple years at first base in his 5th season with the Royals.
He is the tying run.
He was a Royals #1 pick back in 2008. 3rd overall.
They've had a lot pan out, haven't they?
Yes, they have. They've made some good trades. They built their ball club here in Kansas City to the ballpark. Not a home run hitting team. They have the fewest home runs hit of any American League team.
3-0 to Hosmer. Pelfrey threw only 4 pitches outside the strike zone in the first 2 innings. He has thrown 9 that have been outside the zone here in the 3rd.
Well, dangerous pitch right here. You do have first base open, but you have Morales on deck.
A high ball for the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Yeah, second walk of the inning for Pelfrey. And Neil Allen, the pitching coach, coming out to try to settle him down, get him back in the strike zone. Neil Allen's done a great job here in his first season as the pitching coach. We talked to Kyle Gibson about Neil Allen's philosophy, what he brought into spring training, trying to teach everybody to trust that changeup, but also the key is control of that fastball.
We take a look now at the Game Changer profile brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers. And tonight, Bert, it is Kendrys Morales. You can see his numbers last year, the Twins and the Seattle Mariners, and he has been on fire this year with Kansas City.
Well, you know what? When the Twins signed him last year, it was late. And, you know, he didn't have any spring training. He didn't hit. And, you know, when he came to the Twins, in 39 ball games, he hit .234. He went over to Seattle, hit only .207 in 59 games. One thing Ned Yost said is they made sure he had a lot of at-bats in spring training, and it's kind of carried into the season.
And it's somewhere around 80 to 90 at-bats. And for a veteran, you would not think that would be the case, but given his history last year, it makes sense. Bases loaded up.
Morales 1 for 7 lifetime against Mike Pelfrey, but that one was a home run.
You look at new additions to teams around baseball this year, and Morales has been one of the most productive. Josh Donaldson, an all-star first half. Ground ball right there to Dozier, and that'll end the inning. The Royals spoiled a fantastic opportunity. They had Pelfrey against the ropes, but we go to the 4th inning. Twins have the lead. Improving, and by Head and Shoulders with Old Spice, smell 100% manly. Now, some very rich baseball history, including the Kansas City Monarchs, of course, the Negro League Museum here in Kansas City. That's a must visit for any baseball fan. And Bert, when you talk about the Negro Leagues, especially here in Kansas City, you have to talk about Buck O'Neil.
Well, also Satchel Paige. I got a chance to meet Buck O'Neil over the years, but in 1970, my rookie year, Kansas City Royals, they asked me to come to a luncheon, and Satchel Paige was at that luncheon, and I got to sit next to him and just talk pitching a little bit, and that's one of the bigger thrills of my life, believe me.
I can imagine. Out to Infante for a quick out number 1. Oh, what a night for Chris Bryant with the Cubs. We'll learn more. We go back to Chris Myers in Los Angeles for this game break. All right, Chris, thanks for the update.
Well, it's great to see these young kids come up and just do what Bryant's doing. Correa with the Houston Astros. So many great young pitch players coming up.
You know, it has given a phenomenal opportunity to Major League Baseball to market these incredibly bright stars. And my goodness, the Twins, Bert, have had their fair share of them this year. And we were talking about Sano earlier. Byron Buxton, another.
Right. Kenny Vargas, Danny Santana, a lot of the young kids, Eddie Rosario. You know, the future in this man right here, Santana, he's got so much ability. You know, he was sent down earlier this year because Paul Molitor, who has over 3,000 hits, felt that Danny was just pressing a little bit too much and tried to make him relax a little bit. Last year he hit .319 in 101 ball games when he got called up in May, and I think everybody expected him to do that again. And even Paul told us, you know what, you set a high level, and then sometimes it's hard to meet that again.
There's no doubt. Right there at Escobar, and another quick and tidy 1-2-3 innings spun by Blanton. Only 7 pitches. He started to settle in a little bit.
Home. Annie, from the great state, God's country of Mississippi. All right, guys. Hope y'all have some good ones out there tonight. Y'all have fun. I'll just be back here working. How you doing, buddy? Everything good, man? Good to see you. Yeah. Everybody's good. To the peeps back home. Annie, from the great state, God's country of Mississippi. All right, guys. Hope y'all have some good ones out there tonight. Y'all have fun. I'll just be back here working. How you doing, buddy? Everything good, man? Good to see you. Yeah. Everybody's good.
That is awesome.
You can barely tell that he's from Mississippi, can you?
Lance Barksdale, born in 1967 in Mississippi. Very proud of that. His wife Jennifer, daughter Jordan, son Hayden. He's been umpiring now. This is his 12th year as a Major League umpire.
He was one of the umpires in last year's ALDS when the Royals swept the Angels.
I'll tell you what, they have a tough job. You know, baseball is a fun game, and umpires enjoy it, but I'll tell you what, they are in a town for what, 3-4 days, and then they're gone again, and they live out of their suitcase.
Every game's a road game.
Yep.
And one thing, Bert, that instant replay has really taught us is that umpires are pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're consistent. You know, as a pitcher, that's all you want. As a hitter, that's all you want out of that home plate umpire or any umpire. Just be consistent. And Barksdale, one of those very consistent umpires, takes a lot of pride in what he does.
2-2 to Gordon, leading off the Royals' fourth. Now, Pelfrey got into some trouble for the first time really in this ball game. Last inning in the third, Vernon was able to wiggle out of it.
Again, he has that split finger that he's relied on so much, but there's a splitter that just is hammered foul off the bat of Gordon. But also what sets it up for Mike Pelfrey is that fastball throughout the summer has maintained 92 to 94 miles an hour. He'll mix in a slider, breaking ball occasionally.
Perez on deck.
But for Pelfrey over his career, he's averaged about 3 walks per 9 innings, about 5.5 strikeouts per 9. As I said, over his career, he will give up more hits to innings pitched. 1,160 innings pitched coming into this. This is his 199th major league start. 60 wins, 75 losses.
Strike 3 call. Gordon not pleased. Higgins caught looking for the second time.
Yeah, second time that Gordon. Take a look at this pitch right here. That's this fastball right there. That's almost a 2-seam fastball that struck him out in the second inning. Almost the identical pitch. So Pelfrey picking up his 3rd strikeout. Gordon twice.
It's been a tough go lately for Gordon. 2 for now his last 26. Leadoff man retired for Salvador Perez.
Watch Pelfrey. What he'll do is he'll set that pitch up, that splitter. Now he's doing it in his glove. He used to put it on his hip to get it ready. And Pelfrey right back on that pitching rubber too.
Check swing and a slow tapper. And an out at first base. Mauer to the pitcher, Pelfrey. Well, all of MLB's net proceeds from the sale of those caps and jerseys will be donated to Welcome Back Veterans, which provides grants to university hospitals throughout the country to treat veterans suffering from PTSD or traumatic brain injury. Major League Baseball has committed more than $30 million already to Welcome Back Veterans. Really good stuff there by the league.
Yeah, very, very nice. Let's take a look at this kind of a check swing by Perez. This is what you work on in spring training every day. Little PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. Joe Mauer, a little shovel pass over to Pelfrey as he covers first base. Boy, that brings back some good memories there.
You enjoy the PFP?
Yeah, I did. You know what? I took a lot of pride in it. Kind of what Ned Yost said that, you know, you want out of spring training, because if I mess up that play one time during the season, it might cost me a ball game. So, yeah, I did. I took a lot of pride in PFP.
Isn't it fair to say that that's maybe a little bit of a hassle for some pitchers? They don't quite enjoy it as much?
Well, if they don't, they would hear it from me. Because, you know, again, you know, even there's so many different plays that a pitcher has to be involved in that could win or lose you a ball game. And that's one of them. Not getting over there to cover first in time could put a runner on, and then a bad pitch, and boom, you end up losing the game.
Last year it was Dallas Keuchel of the Astros winning the Gold Glove in the American League among pitchers. One of the supreme ground ball pitchers in the game right now. Having a fine year. Well, all the scoring in this one tonight came early in the first inning. Dozier leadoff single on the first pitch. Mauer then clocked a 2-run homer. An infield ground out scored a run off the bat of Aaron Hicks, and that's been it so far.
Pelfrey spending 7 years with the Mets from 2006 to 2012. Then he went through that Tommy John surgery. Signed as a free agent by the Twins back in December of 2012. We'll talk to Paul Molitor about Pelfrey too, because the last 3 seasons, because of the Tommy John, because of another surgery, he has worked only 196 1/3 innings over the last 3 seasons coming into this year. We asked Paul if he was a little concerned about that, and he said, yeah, you know what, as the summer goes on, we'll watch his pitch count and also the innings pitched, and maybe there's a time or two we might push him back 2 or 3 days.
Here's an easy pop up towards the line. Torrey Hunter And that'll be it. A very quick 1-2-3. Bottom of the fourth. Spun by Mike Pelfrey. We're on to the fifth. Gorgeous night here from Kansas City. So glad you could join us. Very happy July 4th. 82 degrees at first pitch as Brian Dozier leads things off. And Bert, I know during your days you were probably used to coming here with the AstroTurf and the temperature being about 100 and feeling like what, about $120 on the field?
Oh, and that turf would just be heating up here, 100 degrees during the summertime here in Kansas City. They've really been blessed. Here we are, the 4th of July, and it's in the 80s. Normally it's in the hundreds here.
We'll take it. Dozier has seen a total of 3 pitches in his first 2 at-bats. He did pick up a single and scored a run in the first.
Tell you what, Joe Blanton has done a good job of settling down. He needed 28 pitches in that first inning to get 3 outs. Over the last 3 innings to get 9 outs, he's needed only 26 pitches.
12 in his last 2. Snaps in a strike there to Dozier.
There's the pitch count right there. Some quick innings in the 3rd, 4th.
Couple of skips to Moustakas. And there is out number 1.
I think Joe Blanton doing everything other than that ugly first inning. Exactly what Ned Yost has wanted out of Blanton here. Give me 5, 6 good innings and we'll turn it over to the bullpen, hopefully with the lead. Right now he's down 3-0.
That's 6 in a row sat down. Now, nobody can shorten the game quite like that man Ned Yost with his bullpen.
It's a 7-inning game. That's the way. I think if you're opposing manager, you have to look at it. Hopefully they don't have the lead. The Royals don't have the lead after the 7th because it's almost been lights out.
You can see what Mauer has been up to month of May, month of June as well. You mentioned earlier, Bert, about Mauer's numbers dipping from his days as an MVP. His offensive number, his batting average. Is there anything in particular that stands out for you regarding that?
I think target field, plus the shifts that everybody's putting on him now. And that's one thing Paul Molitor mentioned, that shifts are really hurting Joe. Now, Alex Gordon out in left field. This is the 12th game. I guarantee you over, and I broadcast for the Twins, I think over the 11 previous games, Alex Gordon's probably robbed Joe Mauer of maybe a handful of doubles because he guards that line so well, and that's where Joe usually hits the ball. This is an unusual day for Joe Mauer to actually pull 2 balls. He pulled the home run, and here he pulls a Blanton pitch between first and second for a base hit. That's one thing Tom Bernansky's been trying to get Joe to do, is to be a little more aggressive. Now that's a breaking ball, so Joe, got the barrel of the bat out, and you can see he hits it sharply in the right. But so many times he's a hitter that not afraid to hit with 2 strikes and lets that ball get deep into a strike zone. That's why he hits so many balls the other way. But right there, that slow breaking ball allowed him to get out front.
And steps Torrey Hunter. Well, when you say target field, one of the reasons for the dip in Mauer's numbers in recent years, most people would think of the high wall in right field. But you're saying he's an opposite way hitter.
He's an opposite way hitter, and at the Metrodome, when he hit 28 home runs in 2008 or 2009, when the MVP, he'd hit it right into the first, second, third row, just over the plexiglass for a home run. And now that same ball is carrying to the warning track at target field.
You don't get to say just over the plexiglass too often anymore, do you?
No.
1 out, 1 on. Hunter behind the count as time is called.
Torrey in his second step with the Twins. He signed with the Twins, their #1 pick back in 1993. Think about that, 1993. And he's still playing like a little kid. Right there, he swings and strikes out.
First strikeout for Blanton since she fanned Torrey Hunter to into second.
Yeah, good hard breaking ball right here. Good tight spin out of the strike zone, but Torrey goes fishing. So strikeout number 4 for Blanton.
Here's Trevor Plouffe. Nice day for Plouffe.
Yep. Trevor's had 2 good at bats, a single in the first and then a leadoff double in the third.
Well, this has been a very different Joe Blanton from the Blanton that we saw in the first inning. 3 runs, 5 hits. He faced 8 batters in that first inning. Blanton, since that time, his last 4 innings, only, well, now 3 hits.
You know, he was done with the Dodgers in 2012, and then he was a free agent. He signed a 2-year contract with the Angels for 2013 and 14. And 13 was such a disaster, 2 and 14, high earned run average, that in spring training the following year, the Angels ended up eating his contract. They released him. And 5 days later, he signed with the Oakland A's, and then Oakland released him in April of 2014. He sat out the rest of the season. He went home to start his winery, which he wants to be doing once he retires, but had the knack and the urge to want to get back in. Signed with the Royals, a minor league free agent, and here he is pitching at the major league level again.
That's a pretty incredible journey.
Pretty good story of a guy that doesn't give up on, if it's in your heart to want to continue. And you know, we all have to retire if you play this at this level of baseball. If you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it all I had, then you're okay. But if there's that little bit of doubt, and maybe Blanton had that little bit of doubt, I'm going to give it one more try. Well, it's panned out for him.
When you hung him up, Bert, was there any doubt at all, or was this?
No. I had my shoulder operated on in 1990. I tried to come back in 1992, and then went to spring training actually with the Twins in '93. But I didn't get back to where I wanted to be, where I could go out and think I could go 9 innings or pitch a shutout. I couldn't do that, so that's why I retired.
Bert, just go 5 and give it over the bullpen.
No, I can't do that. I wasn't brought up that way.
Close pitch, 2-2.
I loved what I did for a long, long time. And I know Blanton does too, even though he's down 3-0. This is fun. That little changeup or fastball right there, almost called a strike. Pretty good pitch.
Full count.
Well, this will allow Joe Mauer to leave early at first base. Hosmer's going to play behind him. Plouffe, who hit 40 doubles last year, ended up hitting his 19th double in the third inning.
2 outs, 1 on. Hard ground ball, just foul.
Eric Cooper, the third base umpire. Does that ball go over the bag? He says no. Plouffe that ball hugged the line. And Stock is playing a little bit off the line. Trevor Plouffe pulling this ball. And Eric Cooper saying no, it's foul.
Results in the 8th pitch of this at bat coming up to Plouffe. The opposite way. Rios nearing the line, nearing the warning track. He can't get there. It drops in for a fair ball. Now we're all the way around from first base to score. Plouffe on his way to third, and he stands up there, and the Twins grab another run. It's 4-0 Minnesota.
You know, in last night's ball game, it was Rios who went over to the wall, and ball ricocheted back into him as a foul ball. This time, Plouffe just taking that fastball the other way. Alex Rios goes over there. Not a lot of room where this ball lands and the wall, and it stayed in the ballpark. That allowed Joe Mauer to score from first base, and for Trevor Plouffe to end up at third. So Twins add another run. Plouffe has a single, a double, now a triple, driving in his 43rd run of the year.
Rosario swings and comes up empty on the first. So Plouffe working on the natural cycle, getting them in order.
Trevor with his 3rd triple of the year.
Activity stirring inside the bullpen.
Well, that's a tough play for an outfielder like Rios too, you know, to go right into the corner, and that ball had eyes where it landed.
Backhand play, Escobar. Low throw, but handled nicely by Hosmer, and that'll end things in the top of the 5th. The Twins grab a run. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Mike Moustakas, what a stud he was in October. We will see him when we go to the bottom of the 5th. Telecast is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. I'm very happy 4th of July. Aaron Goldsmith, Murph Loudon, our entire Fox Sports crew on a beautiful night here from Kansas City. First pitch temperature in the low 80s. As Omar Infante will begin things in the home half of the 5th for Kansas City. So far the Royals have stranded 5 base runners. Pelfrey retired the side in order in the first. He did that again in the fourth. Pelfrey with some nearby roots. Went to Wichita Heights High School. Pitched at Wichita State University. Only about roughly 3-hour drive southwest of where we are right here at Kauffman.
Yeah, Pelfrey making his 16th start. This is his second start against Kansas City this year. He won his first game this year against the Royals. His third start of the season right here in KC. He pitched 7 shutout innings against the Royals and beat Jeremy Guthrie 3-0.
Has this been the biggest storyline for the Twins this year, the turnaround in their starting pitching?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. The Twins are where they're at right now because of good starting pitching. The last 4 years in Minnesota has been miserable because of the starters' high earned run average combined.
Infante's first hit through the left side, a leadoff single for the Royals.
One thing that has really helped Mike Pelfrey to go more into what he kind of resurrecting his career is that split finger. You see what the old one on the left right here. That's the old split finger. But now the new one, what he did is he utilized the seams of the ball more than he did on the left. And with the help, you can see the ball coming out. Great shot right there, guys, of what that ball does. It tumbles. And with the help of the bullpen relieving, or the bullpen coach now, Eddie Guardado, great reliever for the Twins and other clubs, they opened his fingers up a little bit, and that allowed that ball to be a little more consistent and to tumble.
His ground ball rate is up this year. He's been one of the top 10 ground ball pitchers in all of baseball. We talked about the ground ball double plays. He has 18 now this year. As you take a look at Eddie Guardado.
Yeah, Eddie Guardado, of course, his career started with the Twins. He came up as a starter, then turned bullpen closer. 187 career saves.
Eddie looks pretty comfortable. He's enjoying the fourth.
He's laying back. He's relaxing.
Escobar looks at a strike.
One guy that's really enjoyed pitching at Target Field this year is Mike Pelfrey. He struggled a little bit on the road. ERA at 5.95, 2-4, but 7 starts at Target Field. He's 3-1, 1.80 earned run average.
Pelfrey a chance for yet another ground ball double play with the leadoff single to Infante.
Escobar, a guy, tough guy to strike out and a tough guy to walk. Escobar has walked only 8 times this year, and he has struck out 46 in 200 at-bats.
Up the middle, off the mound, and a base hit. That puts Infante in at second base.
Escobar picks up his first in. That looked like the splitter that just stayed up, and Escobar fought it off and hit it right back up the middle. Let's take a look at the pitch right here. Yep, splitter. It doesn't tumble very well when you leave it chest high. The idea is to start it about knee high and let the hitter beat it into the ground.
Well, as we're talking about the starting pitching so much better this year for the Twins, Minnesota will get a boost tomorrow, Bert. Irvin Santana, an 80-game drug suspension, a big offseason splash for the Twins, and was phenomenal during spring training, but they will not have his services until tomorrow when he faces Danny Duffy.
Yep, he pitched a year here in Kansas City a couple of years ago. Now Herman's going to go out and talk to Mike Pelfrey. There's Irvin Santana. Those are his minor league numbers in his rehab. He'd been working down in Fort Myers. He's allowed to do that with the instructional league. The guys that kind of stay around, it's not organized, it's just an instructional league. So once he was able to join a ball club, a minor league team, he went to Rochester, AAA affiliate for the Twins. Saw the numbers, 3-0, very good earned run average. Pitched 8 shutout innings in his last start. He addressed the club earlier today, and he gets the chance to suit up today and be with the team. He'll be on the mound tomorrow.
It'll be a big boost. Moustakas lays off 2-0. Now the Royals trying to get something going off of Pelfrey. They've had a couple of opportunities, namely in the third when they left the bases loaded. Morales grounded out. And a 3-0 count.
Pelfrey yelling at himself right now. He's upset he can't find the strike zone. 70 pitches for Pelfrey.
Only his third 3-ball count tonight.
Another great crowd here in Kansas City. Have they fallen in love with their Kansas City Royals?
Head over heels. 2 on, nobody out. And a big bat at the plate, Moustakas. Taking ball 4. The base is packed. Nobody out. You can see Pelfrey very upset.
Second time he has walked Moustakas. Third walk for Mike Pelfrey. And that loads the bases again, but this time nobody out. And you have the heart of the lineup coming up with Kane, Hosmer, and Morales.
Only Hunter Pence gets better signs than the players for the Royals.
I think you forgot about the circle me Bert signs.
Fair enough. Top 3, we'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you.
Pelfrey in a jam, bases full, nobody out. He is throwing hard, but not commanding it here. 4-pitch walk to Moustakas, and ball 1 high to Kane.
Yeah, control again has not really been an issue for Pelfrey, but he's wiping down a lot out there. You wonder if the heat here is getting to him. Ball slipping out of his hand.
Royals have not been able to get much going with runners in scoring position in this series.
He's in danger zone right here.
2-0.
Oh, Trevor Plouffe going to come in and try to give Pelfrey a little breather. Joe Mauer. Some action in the bullpen. Brian Dunsing, the left-hander. Ryan Presley, the right-hander.
That's 6 straight pitches missing for Pelfrey.
Now, if you're Kane, after 6 straight balls, do you take a strike, or do you look for that fastball away that's just ready to hammer? I'm guessing if it's a fastball away, Kane is not going to be taking here. He's going to guess fastball.
Kane, it's a tying run. Pelfrey's 2-0.
And he took it. Maybe not the pitch he wanted. I think he wanted that up. That was a low pitch. See, if I was out there, I'd already be backing up third base. I didn't like counts like this. You have to come in with a pitch. You have no place to put them.
Base is full, nobody out. Broken bat, blooper, left field, base hit. Infante scores. Escobar being waved in. He scores standing as the Royals are on the board for the first time tonight. Lorenzo Cain busts his bat, but he plates 2. And the Royals have the lead of the Twins.
Well, let's do a little pitch by pitch to Cain right here. Pelfrey fell behind. The first pitch, ball 1, missed up. Ball 2 inside, and then he took a pitch, and then another pitch. He is looking to do that. Cain does not get cheated up there. Knocks in a 2-run single, and it's a 4-2 ball game. And Paul Molitor on his way out.
Well, the pitch count not all that high for Pelfrey. And we do have a pitching change. We'll step aside. We're back with a moment in the bottom of the 5th. Don't miss the 86 All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, July 14th on Fox. Well, Mike Pelfrey, only 4+ innings, and he gives way now to Brian Dunsing.
Yeah, Dunsing making his 28th relief appearance, only 18 1/3 innings pitched. And with Hosmer up, and Morales on deck, but he's also a switch hitter. Dunsing's been bothered a little bit by a tender elbow. Hasn't been used a lot. Last time he was on the mound was back on June 26th in Milwaukee. See the high earned run average.
Still nobody out, 2 on. Nice stop by Herman, and Dunsing limping a little bit.
Well, we showed Perez earlier in the ball game being able to block balls, and Chris Herman doing a good job of keeping the runners at first and second by blocking that pitch in the dirt. And I think what they're going to do is go out and look at Dunsing. I said he's had a tender elbow. He's kind of shooing Dave Prumer and Paul Molitor back, but they keep walking toward him. They want to make sure he's okay. They're kind of looking at the mound a little bit.
He was really hobbling after that pitch.
You know, sometimes as a reliever you come in and there's holes where other pitchers leave, and sometimes you slip into those holes. So let's take a look at the last pitch right here. Kind of hobbling a little bit, that right ankle. That's the landing ankle for a left-handed pitcher. You know, Dunsing with that high ERA. He had 5 outings so far this year. This is his 28th. Covering 2 innings, 13 runs allowed. That's, you know, as a reliever, you have those bad innings. Right. Boy, it's hard to get that ERA down.
It really skews things. Ground ball, first base, Mauer. On to second, and to first base, not in time. Hosmer legs it out.
Well, we do a little PFP again. This is another drill you work in spring training. Joe Mauer playing it deep first. He wants to get that lead runner. He does. Santana's relay throw. The pitcher has to be there, and that's where Brian Dunsing is. You become the first baseman. And Hosmer just beat the throw.
Yeah, good call. And the Royals testing, you know, that ankle or whatever it might have been from Dunsing right away. Royals threatening. They have the tying run at first base. The go-ahead at the plate in their RBI machine, Kendrys Morales.
Yeah, Morales, a switch hitter. Looks like he's going to be getting a new helmet. He had his left-handed hitting helmet on.
Whoops. There we go.
There's his right-handed hitting helmet. There you go. He gets in the box and says, uh-oh, my ear is exposed.
In this case, a tip of the cap means give me a new one.
Please. Yeah, Morales, as a right-handed hitter, hitting .304. One of his 10 home runs coming as a right-handed hitter.
0 for 2 tonight. A lot of his home runs or make it RBIs came in the first 2 months of the season. He got off to such a hot start. Hosmer barely off the bag.
And Morales, very good numbers against Dunsing. 3 for 7 against Brian Dunsing. Dunsing in his 7th season with the Twins. He's a Kansas native, born in Marysville, Kansas. Signed by the Twins in 2005 out of the University of Nebraska. He and Alex Gordon, best of friends.
Old teammates there in Lincoln.
Stood up for each other at their wedding.
1-1. A home run gives the Royals the lead. A well-placed extra base hit ties it up.
One thing the Royals did so well last year, and they won games like this. They fell behind early, then they came back, and their bullpen took over to allow them to come back and win ball games. Another nice stop by Herman. Brian Dunsing did spend some time on a disabled list. Had Yost right there. 19 comeback wins this season when they've fallen behind. And last night was their first walk-off win.
Hard to believe it. One of only 2 teams, the Yankees being the other. Now this is a role that Dunsing has been so good in this year. He's allowed only 3 of 18 inherited runners to score.
He spent some time on a disabled list, about a couple of weeks with the intercostal strain.
Two-one is a chopper up the middle. Dozier flips back to second. They get the lead man there. As Morales safe at first, and another run in. It's Mike Moustakas who drew a walk.
That was a great effort right there by Brian Dozier, and then you flip it over to Santana, who has an outstanding arm, and Morales had to hustle to stay out of the double play. Morales does pick up an RBI. It's a 4-3 ball game now, but Dozier flips the ball quickly. Santana's relay throw, and Morales stays out of the double play. That's a good play because it gets also the tying run now at first base rather than second base.
And here is Dunsing's former college teammate Alex Gordon. Gordon 0 for 2. He struck out twice against Pelfrey tonight. Both times on fastballs, and he's mired in a 2 for 26 skid right now.
Yeah, these guys are very good friends, roommates, classmates, best men for each other's wedding, and 32 at-bats for Alex Gordon against Brian Dunsing, 10 hits off of them. A .313 average, so it's kind of evened out, I think. If you can get your best friend out 2 out of 3 and let your friend feel good 1 out of 3 times, that's pretty good.
You're being a good friend.
Yeah. They struck him out 8 times in the 32 at-bats.
Tying run at first.
Twins have 3 lefties out of that bullpen. Dunsing, Aaron Thompson, and of course the closer Glenn Perkins.
The 2-1. Clobber to right field. Torrey Hunter with the shoestring snag, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Well, a good inning for the Royals. They get 3 runs, including this broken bat single, which played at 2 from Lorenzo Cain. Their spirit lives on. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Back inside Kauffman Stadium, we have a new pitcher for Kansas City. Brandon Finnegan taking over for Joe Blanton.
Yeah, Finnegan up and down this year between AAA and the big leagues. 3 different stints. He's making his 10th relief appearance out of the bullpen. He's got a win out of there, 2.04 ERA. He's worked only 17 2/3 innings, 10 walks, so control has been an issue with 14 strikeouts. Finnegan just 22 years old. He got a September call up last year, made the postseason, did well in postseason, got into some World Series games. Not bad for a Royals #1 pick a couple of years ago in 2014. Didn't spend a lot of time in the minor leagues last year. Pitched in only 13 minor league games before he made his major league debut. And just like that, on 3 pitches, Sano is called out on strikes.
Well, time now for Pepsi's most thrilling historical moments of the game. And this week's moment features the man sitting right next to me, Bert, looking good. You haven't changed a bit. Bert, fly 11. We take a look back, June 1986. You recorded one of your record 29 complete games against Kansas City. Of course, using that signature curveball.
Well, it's a ballpark that I enjoyed pitching in, even though they had some really good clubs here. I just had a lot of success here. Why? I don't know. But I like that stash, though.
Oh, that was nice.
It's actually dark. I wonder what happened there.
It was much fuller than two.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but it's still fine now.
Well, it's gray now.
We'll take a look at that again. It's worth a revisit. Look at that.
Look at that. That's a full stash.
Is that Tom Selleck on the mound?
Wow.
Watching Mr. Baseball, it looks like.
You know what? My most memorable moment with Tom Selleck is I lit his shoelaces on fire, both of them, one time in Anaheim.
That sounds like something you would do. To right center. Ooh. And a sliding catch there.
Yeah, that ball kind of stayed up right there. Rios, I think, got it in the lights, but made a nice catch.
Bert, we were talking about your career, especially here in Kansas City. Really, you can't think of a reason why you pitch so well here.
No, I mean, I like the dimensions. You know, down the line it was pretty fair. You know, in the alleys, 287, 410 straight away. But yeah, you know what? You have certain places that you just like to pitch, and this was one of them. I enjoyed pitching in Anaheim, where I grew up. I liked Yellowstone. I liked you know, Yosemite. Those are other parks.
Other great parks.
Yeah.
It was interesting hearing Kyle Gibson take kind of the latter approach to pitching in this ballpark. Such a great pitcher's park, but he really said in so many words that you need to have 3 above average outfielders to cover all the territory.
Yeah, I was a fly ball pitcher. I wasn't the ground ball pitcher that Kyle Gibson is. You know, he gets a lot of double play balls. I didn't do that. My outfielders played deep and cut across, so maybe that helped.
Maybe so. 2 outs for Chris Herman. He's behind 0-2. Finnegan last year becoming the first player ever to pitch in the College World Series and the Major League World Series in the same year. Former first-round draft pick out of TCU. The whole Royals bullpen pitched with their hair on fire in October, and that was really the case all season long, and it has been the case this year as well.
Well, they have a great bullpen, and I think they got out of Joe Blanton what they wanted, and that's 5 innings, and then turn it over to a bullpen that has combined with an ERA at 2.05. That's the best in all of baseball. And it's not just the 3 horsemen out there that's doing it with Herrera, Davis, and Holland. It's a combination of all 8 guys in their bullpen.
Barman will take off to first base. Long throw, Perez, and they're in time.
Herman hesitated a little bit. That created a strikeout out at first.
We go to the bottom of the 6th. For the Minnesota Twins, it is Ryan Presley.
Yeah, Ryan Presley worked in last night's ball game, just a third of an inning. Did give a couple hits and an intentional walk. And the Twins' 10-inning, 3-2 loss.
Presley originally drafted by the Red Sox, a Rule 5 pick by the Twins in 2012. The only team he's pitched with in the majors.
Yeah, Ryan, 26 years old. His third season. He had to stay up the whole year. Rule 5, thing is like that. If you're a Rule 5 player, kind of like what they have at J.R. Graham out in the Twins bullpen. That's a Rule 5 player. Twins did pretty good with a Rule 5 player once before, a guy named Johan Santana.
Worked out.
Presley with a good fastball, big curveball. Mixing a slider and a changeup. It's a big tight curveball. There's a fastball there.
That curve is pretty firm. That's not a mid-70s hook, is it?
No, it's got good tight rotation.
Bottom third of the order due up for Kansas City. Perez, Rios, Infante.
Yeah, Perez was the first batter that Presley faced last night and hung him on curveball, and he got a base hit.
Strike 3 called. He gets him with the heat. He blew it in there.
That fastball clocked at 98 here.
Well, right now we go to Chris Myers in Los Angeles for a game break. Chris. Boy, Greinke has been lights out. He entered today with a 1.58 earned run average, the best in baseball.
Well, you know what? He came up with the Kansas City Royals, and I don't recall what year it was when he won the Cy Young. What, he had 13 wins, but an ERA under almost 2, something like that. He had a great year, but just wasn't getting any runs, and he's not getting a lot of runs in L.A. There's that tight breaking ball right there by Presley.
And a 2009 season for Greinke, the Cy Young winner, a 2.16 ERA.
2.16. Wow. How many wins did he have?
16 and 8, Bert.
Okay.
Rios tailing the opposite way. Torrey Hunter is there to snag it for out number 2. In honor of Independence Day, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission for providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Two up, 2 down from Presley just into the game. Second reliever used by Paul Molitor. And now facing Infante.
Yeah, Infante scored the first run. He started off the bottom of the 5th inning with a base hit, that off of Mike Pelfrey. Pelfrey worked the first 4+ innings. Brian Dunsing got out of the 5th. We're in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs.
Well, when you're here in Kansas City and the Twins are here as well, you think of Paul Molitor and hit number 3,000, which came in this very ballpark. The only man to pick up his 3,000th hit on a triple. Went over to the gap in right center field, and there was a formal delay for Paul Molitor to honor him. A video board display, fireworks went off. It was quite the moment, and for a road team to do that for a visitor showed a lot of class by the Royals.
Well, the Royals organization is first class, believe me, but for a guy like Paul Molitor that is a first class guy on and off the field, that was a nice tribute to him, and I'm happy to say I got to witness that triple.
Rolls over it to Plouffe. And a 1-2-3 inning. We'll return to Kansas City after a word from your local Fox station. Now, doesn't get much better than this. And Bert was happy to see them get a shot of your pregame snow cone that the runner got for you.
Hey, you know what? As a kid, we had Little League games. If you went and retrieved the ball, what would you get in return?
Snow cone.
You get a snow cone.
We got a half dozen on the way up. But a very happy 4th of July.
Yes, everybody.
It has been a beautiful night here in Kansas City. In fact, it couldn't be more perfect, really, when you think about what it could be in the first week of July here in Kansas City, Missouri. First pitch temperature only 82 degrees.
Well, Brandon Finnegan out for his second inning of relief.
Now the count 2-0 to Santana.
He had a quick 1-2-3 6th inning on 11 pitches.
Clear skies tonight. Game 3 of 4. Santana had 3-0, and here comes Perez.
Catchers become a second pitching coach, and this is what Perez is doing right here. Rather than Dave Island, the Royals pitching coach, having to come out, he comes out, tries to settle his pitcher down. Now he runs back behind the plate.
And tomorrow, the 2015 FIFA World Cup final is here, and it's a rematch 4 years in the making as Alex Gordon and Team USA take on defending champion Japan to see who will be crowned a champion. Coverage begins tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Yeah, go USA. Oh, whatever Perez told him, he threw a strike over the plate.
It worked.
If you don't get it over, I'm going to come out here and pinch your head off.
You read lips well, Bert. And on a 3-1 count, he grounds it up the middle. Santana, a leadoff base hit. Looked like for a moment there that might be an out, but just past the glove of Escobar.
Well, Santana picking up his second hit. Now the speedster at first base. Santana actually a better hitter from the right side this year. He came into that at bat in his first at bat as a right-handed hitter, hitting .262. Got a fastball down and hit it right back up the middle. And Perez and Moustakas out to the mound. Got some action in the bullpen.
4th time now in 7 innings that the leadoff man has reached. That's the flamethrower, Kelvin Herrera. He brings it in triple digits.
Yeah, it looks like he just got up, so maybe a little delay just to allow Herrera to throw some more pitches. Maybe for Torrey Hunter if he comes up. It's Dozier, Mauer, and then Hunter.
Dozier 1 for 3 so far. Dozier on the season, 16 homers, only 7 steals in 10 tries. Bert, is he your prototypical leadoff hitter?
Well, he is for the Twins.
Okay. How so?
You know, we talked to Paul Molitor because Brian just is what Paul, I guess, described, if I word right, he's kind of a hacker up there. I mean,
an ambush hitter. Yeah,
an ambush hitter, and that to me is a hacker. You know, you leave a ball up, he's going to tommyhawk it somewhere. He's not a guy that if you pitch him away, he's going to hit to right field. He doesn't really hit behind a runner, so he's done a great job in that leadoff role.
And if you look at since the start of last season, he is tied with Mike Trout for the most runs scored in baseball.
Yep, he had 112 runs scored last year, 3 behind Mike Trout.
To center field in Cain's territory. And an easy play there for round number 1. Follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, the new StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat now.
That's why I was kind of talking about Brian Dozier hopefully making his first All-Star appearance. He scored earlier in the ball game in the first inning 62 times. That's going into the game. Now 1 more than Josh Donaldson. Extra base hits. He leads the American League with 44. Well, he's put together a very solid season.
He's been a spark plug, and this year isn't the first time. Here comes Mauer, 2-run homer in his first at bat. Mauer a chance here for his first 3-hit game since April. Entered tonight, batting a couple of ticks above 260. How has the transition from the catcher's gear to first base been for Mauer?
Well, I think because of all the concussions that he had a couple years ago, it was kind of a necessary move to protect Joe and have him play at least 150 games a year. He had some injuries last year that allowed him to only play 120, but the Twins hope to keep him healthy because this guy can just flat out hit. You know, maybe he's having an off year offensively, but he's very good with runners in scoring position when it counts. And hopefully, you know, he can stay healthy the whole year for the Twins.
Hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position. So you're right. He's been fantastic. Santana at first, a single up the middle. 1 out, 1 on for Mauer. There he goes. Club to right field. Drops in for a base hit. Santana had to put on the brakes for a moment, but he's still able to easily coast first to third.
Well, third hit of the ball game for Joe Mauer, and you know it's almost a challenge for Joe to try to hit 300 again because he could do it. Fastball right there, and Joe just going down. And this is the first time I think all season long we have seen Joe Mauer hit the ball 3 times for hits to right field. So pulling the ball here this afternoon, Joe Mauer has 3 hits.
The long, slow walk from Ned Yost. We saw Herrera warming up a few moments ago. Finnegan done for the night. We'll step aside. Pitching change. Then on July 13th, it's the 2015 Gillette Home Run Derby, presented by Head and Shoulders, and it all leads up to the Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. We got a new pitcher. It's the flamethrower, Kelvin Herrera.
Yeah, Herrera making his 35th relief appearance. 32 innings, only 21 hits allowed. 11 walks, 1 intentional, 33 strikeouts. And Torrey Hunter looking for a hit off of Herrera. He is 1 for 8 lifetime. Herrera with an overpowering fastball, hard curveball, and a changeup.
Saw that first pitch at 99 miles an hour, so you got to get geared up for it. Is that what makes his breaking stuff so effective, his off-speed pitches?
You know what? I just look at guys like Herrera and now Davis, the guys that just come in and just blow gas. And I think, Dave Island kind of talked to Ned Yost about that. He's very impressed by Dave Island, the pitching coach, on how he uses these guys. Don't over abuse them either.
No, it's so deep that they don't have to.
His breaking ball is kind of like a hard slider, but his main pitch is that fastball.
There's no doubt.
He trusts that fastball. He'll throw it at any time.
Twins looking for a little insurance here in the 7th. Hunter to center field. Pretty well and deep to Kane as Santana is ready to go at third base. Here he comes. And he scores standing. Sacrifice fly off the bat of Torrey Hunter. And it gives Minnesota now a 2-run lead.
Well, a little hit and run by Joe Mauer with Santana. It gets Santana over to third. And then the sacrifice fly off the bat of Torrey Hunter, driving in his 45th of the year.
Now we take a look at Plouffe, who is a home run away from the natural cycle in this one.
Base hit in the first inning, a double in the third, and then an RBI triple in the 5th. Last Twins player to have hit for the cycle, Michael Kadire, back in 2009. And this would be a tough guy to hit a home run against. Herrera has allowed 2 home runs on the year.
If you square him up, it can go a long way, but that's not easy to do.
It looks easy from here.
Now we're at first, 2 outs.
Then he dropped a changeup in on him at 90 miles an hour.
1-1. So Plouffe a chance for a little history in this at bat. He's behind 1-2. The Twins 3 runs in the first. They added a run in the 5th. And 1 more here in the 7th on the sac fly off the bat of Torrey Hunter. They have not trailed in this game. And he goes diving for a 99-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. Plouffe down on strikes. A run in, a run left as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
That is nasty.
Make it home. and by the Dodge brothers. 100 years later, their spirit lives on.
Yeah, again, happy 4th of July, everybody, and be safe.
This has been a fun one so far here from Kauffman Stadium.
That's another full house here, almost 39,000 people.
Now, the attendance this year in Kansas City has been off the charts good. Last night, they announced an official attendance of over 30,000. That's their 26th time this year, and there's no doubt, you can see right there, they've got an over 30,000 tonight. They're averaging 33,000 on the season. They are on pace for a franchise record, almost 2.7 million fans, as they give a little foreshadowing to the fireworks.
Yeah, here on Thursday night, 37,196. Last night, 38,868.
It's been remarkable. Well, tomorrow, the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup final is here, and it's a rematch 4 years in the making as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on defending champion Japan to see who will be crowned champion. Coverage begins tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's hard to think of a team that has, a fan base that has embraced a team more this year than Kansas City, and certainly a trip to the World Series will help that out. Look no further than the All-Star voting. That has been well documented.
Yeah, that'll be announced, I believe, tomorrow, right? The winners of the All-Star voting.
You would have thought they were giving out T-bones to fans for voting. That's how many votes that were tallied from fans here in Kansas City. Then you talk to some local people with the Royals, and they break it down pretty simply that this is a two-sport town, Chiefs and Royals, and the Royals are red hot, and the fan base is charged up.
Well, like Ned Yost said, when people asked him, what do you feel about, 7 out of 9 players being Kansas City Royals? Hey, everybody has a right to vote. If you have a problem with it, go vote.
It is within the confines. Escobar up the middle. His second hit. Checks into the single.
Yeah, Ryan Presley starting his second inning of relief, a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th. And Escobar, like he did in the 5th inning, taking a ball up the middle. They had to shift for Escobar, but he hit it right through the shift between Dozier and Santana.
And now a visit from the trainer. And Paul Molitor behind him.
I wonder if something's wrong with Ryan Presley. Is Tony Leo, the other trainer here, out to talk to Ryan? Oh, he's kind of maybe the elbow area, the way that he kind of put his hand up. It's he kind of something's barking.
And you don't see that happen very often.
No.
Well, that'll be it. Hopefully nothing too serious for Ryan Presley. We've got a little bit of an emergency pitching change as we play in the bottom of the 7th. Well, so far, done the natural cycle. He is the home run shy, however. Lorenzo Cain, a couple of RBIs. He had the single in the 5th to put the Royals on the board for the first time. Welcome back inside Kauffman Stadium. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven. And Bert, interested to get your thoughts on the standings right now in the American League Central. It's safe to say that at July 4th, as we approach the All-Star break, this is not exactly how many pundits saw the Central shaping up. The Royals were maybe the most disrespected pennant winners in recent years. So much love to the White Sox, their offseason acquisitions. The Twins were written off before the season began.
Well, nobody knew what the starting staff would do. For 4 years, the starting staff was not very good for the Twins. This year it has been. But you know what? I always like Kansas City. You know why? Because they got the taste of it, like Ned Yost said last year. They came to spring training hungry. Detroit, they're having, now that they lost Miguel Cabrera for 6 weeks, that's going to hurt them. And Cleveland still might have the best pitching staff in the American League, so they're not out of it yet. And they're having trouble in Chicago.
No doubt. Here's Aaron Thompson.
Aaron Thompson ended up getting the loss in last night's ball game, making his 40th relief appearance out of the bullpen for the Twins. He was on the mound when Dyson hit that slow roller to Joe Mauer that he had to get into the short hop and then made a quick throw to Suzuki, but Cain made a great slide around the plate.
0-2 on Moustakas.
And Moustakas did not like that call. Could almost hear him from here saying something to Lance Barksdale.
Moustakas is the tying run. He's got some thump.
Take a look at the pitch. See, everybody thinks that's low, but being a former pitcher, that was knee high on the black.
Of course it was, Bert. Thompson, a former first-round draft pick by the Marlins, one spot ahead of Jacoby Ellsbury. He'll throw that slider a lot.
Another good stop by Herman.
In terms of his blocking abilities tonight, Bert, he has not looked like a backup catcher.
No, he's done a very good job. You see where that ball landed, way in front of home plate, and Herman utilizing that chest protector to deaden the ball. Escobar at first base, keep an eye on him too. 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts. The Royals have done a very good job running bases, 46 stolen bases in 63 attempts.
A chopper to Dozier, spins 1, 2 on the other end. We've seen some pretty footwork by Brian Dozier in this one tonight.
Well, again, a guy that I feel should be representing the Twins in the All-Star game, but Dozier turns around, good flip over to Santana, and then Danny Santana showing off that strong arm. Second double play turned by the Twins.
And wipes away the leadoff single, 2 outs, nobody on. Lorenzo Cain due up. And here comes Paul Molitor. We will have a pitching change. We'll step aside, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 7th. bullpen for the fourth time rather, and about to take a look at Boyer now out of the bullpen.
Yeah, Blaine Boyer coming out. He pitched a shutout inning in yesterday's ball game against the Royals, making his 39th relief appearance. And it's funny, we started with Joe Blanton talking about how he was out of the game. He came back. Same thing for Blaine Boyer, 33 years old. In 2012, he basically was away from the game, decided to come back. Actually, he makes home in the Atlanta area. Paul Byrd, a former Kansas City Royal pitcher, convinced him that maybe you should give it another try. He signed a minor league contract with the Kansas City Royals. They let him go. He went to Japan and then signed by the Padres. And then this year he signed as a free agent by the Twins. Made the club out of spring training. And he's done a good job out of that bullpen.
And what a journey there as he faces Lorenzo Cain. 2 outs, nobody on, last of the 7th.
Yeah, he retired from baseball in 2012 and got a financial and real estate license and a business license. So what's he doing back in baseball?
Bases clean for Lorenzo Cain. Cain a couple of doubles, 2 RBIs his last time up in the 5th. Way outside for ball 1.
Boyer with a good fastball, little cut fastball, curveball, changeup. Longest tenure with a ball club, the Braves, back in 2005 to 2009. He also spent time with the Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Mets, Padres, now the Twins.
If you include his at-bats today against left-handed pitching, Lorenzo Cain 11 for his last 19. He is crushing southpaws. Pardon me, that's against altogether. Tying run on deck for the Royals. And it's 3-0.
Boyer, very good control. He rarely walks anybody. 9 walks coming into this appearance, but 4 of them intentional walks in 37 1/3 innings.
Hosmer ready on deck. You could call that taking all the way. Barrel in the hand for Cain. 3-1. A strike. Cain didn't think so.
Well, this is a guy to me, Cain, that I think is getting better and better in his career. Last year he hit .301 in 133 ball games. Pretty good pitch.
Didn't look too bad. Full count, 2 outs. Ball 4. 2-out walk. First walk from the bullpen for the Twins tonight. And now to face Eric Hosmer.
Said Boyer worked in last night's ball game, threw only 7 pitches to get 3 outs. He threw 6 pitches and it ended up walking Cain.
There goes Cain, the chopper off the right side. Easy play for Dozier, and that'll be it in the bottom of the 7th as the Royals leave a run. And through 7 innings, the Twins lead it by 2. From the seats, who is off the fence. This is George Toma, and Bert, tell us about him.
Well, George Toma, I mean, he was the guru of, he's retired now, the guru of groundskeepers here in Kansas City for years. When I came up in 1970, he was at the old ballpark, which is downtown Kansas City. The field was immaculate, just like it looks here. But then, you know, when they built this stadium, it used to be turf, and I used to always get a kick and ask George, how could they put the best groundkeeper on a turf field? But you know what? He does the Super Bowls. He does everything. He actually still, at 82 years old, comes down to Fort Myers every spring and takes care of the Twins complex right there in Fort Myers. He knows every blade of grass in Fort Myers has a name. He calls them names.
Is there a Blyleven blade?
No. He's the best.
Well, there you go. You met him, George Toma.
Yeah.
High slicer. Gordon foul territory. Leads and he can't make the catch.
Well, if he can't make the catch, nobody can. Great effort right there by Alex Gordon, trying to time his leap perfectly. Got up and a ball just over the railing that he could not get to. 4-time Gold Glove winner the last 4 years. And this guy came up in the organization as a third baseman.
He and Rusty Kuntz, the first base coach and outfield coach for the Royals, they have put together hours upon hours of work, and Gordon has been the example, as it turns out, in left field. Through the right side, a base hit with 2 strikes against him for Rosario.
Yeah, Franklin Morales out on the mound now in his first season with the Royals. Morales making his 34th relief appearance. He, like every other Royal out there, has done a great job. 3-0, 20 strikeouts. That's not very good in 32 1/3 innings out of their bullpen. Jeez, they average a strikeout an inning.
I'll start the bus to Omaha up for somebody like that.
No, Ned Yost said that Franklin Morales, has been a good plus to the bullpen.
Double play ball. Escobar on to second and over to first. And that wipes away the leadoff single. This July, baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. And our coverage of 2015 Major League All-Star Game begins July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Nice turn of a double play, second double play that Sano has hit into here tonight. Moustakas out to talk to Morales. Morales signing a minor league contract. He was by the Royals over the winter. Made the club out of spring training. A lot of experience as a starter, mainly with the Colorado Rockies. Spent a little bit of time with the Red Sox.
Now has the bases empty and 2 outs, facing Aaron Hicks. Now the book on Hicks has been an interesting one, Bert. A highly touted prospect, a fantastic athlete, and he's been slowed with lack of performance at times, but also with injuries, hasn't he?
Yeah, some injuries. He just activated yesterday, coming off the disabled list, at the right flexor strain. But yeah, a lot of ability for Aaron Hicks, and the Twins have been very patient on trying to get that ability out here at the major league level. In the minor leagues, he's done well, but up here he has struggled.
Want to be the first player?
Yeah, last year 69 ball games for the Twins. He hit only .215. But there is a lot of talent there.
2-2.
And I think when you're a #1 pick, you get more chances. Aaron Hicks, a #1 pick by the Twins in 2008, 14th overall pick out of Woodrow Wilson High School in Long Beach, Southern California.
That's a fair point. It has been Finnegan, Herrera, and now Morales out of the bullpen. For Ned Yost after Joe Blanton, 4 runs, 9 hits over 5 innings.
Yeah, Morales, one of those guys, as I mentioned, started in the big leagues with the Rockies as a starter. It didn't work out, then put into the bullpen. He's got a great arm. That's one thing the Royals have been lacking really over the last couple of years, that lefty out of the bullpen. Remember Collins?
Absolutely.
He ended up getting the Tommy John surgery.
What a curveball Collins has.
Tim Collins, yeah.
Foul past third. The at-bat continues. Well, they have announced the official attendance here tonight, 37,917, which, believe it or not, we are told is a few seats shy of a sellout, and have a fun time finding those empty seats. It is packed.
Did they include us?
At least you, Bert.
Thank you.
8th pitch coming up to Hicks, and on the way.
Aaron, 25 years old. Again, that's another reason they're giving him more opportunities, with Byron Buxton out for another about 5 weeks with that thumb injury. Twins need somebody to cover a lot of ground out there. It was Danny Santana last year, but they look at Danny Santana as their future shortstop.
Outside, ball 4. What a plate appearance there by Hicks.
Yeah, good at bat right there for Aaron Hicks. Chris Herman 0 for 3, a couple strikeouts.
That is the first walk given out by a Royals pitcher tonight. Twins tacked a run of insurance on in the 7th with a sac fly off the bat of Torrey Hunter. Keeping an eye on Hicks. Hicks seals 6 steals in 7 tries this year. Faked him out that time.
Now Butch Davis, a first base coach, helping Aaron Hicks read the signs from Gene Glenn. Hicks, one of those guys that if he gets a good jump, he'll have the green light. And another throw over, sidearm throw by Morales.
Rosario began this inning with a ground ball single to right, but then was wiped away on the Sano double play ball, which started with Escobar, the shortstop, and then Hicks, a lengthy at bat, ended up drawing the walk, and now Herman. And finally, the first pitch to Herman is ball 1.
Kind of changed his delivery right there. He didn't go as high with that right knee. Kind of came about 3/4 and then delivered home.
Snap throw. Royals winning last night in the 10th, the walk-off win, their first of the season. For the Twins, they have not won back-to-back ball games in essentially 2 weeks. So for a team that is hanging around in second place with a 1.5 lead on the Tigers behind them in the standings, it's pretty impressive that they can tread water this well, Bert, with really not gaining a whole lot of momentum. It's kind of been a step forward then a step backwards.
Well, you know what? Again, it's pitching. It's pitching for Kansas City. It's also pitching for the Twins. If a pitcher can keep you in the ball game, you're going to win some close ball games. Here, Kyle Gibson here on Thursday night, a 2-0 win. Offense didn't score a lot of runs for him, of course, too. And then last night, good pitching matchup. I thought Jeremy Guthrie pitched a good ball game against Tommy Malone, and it went 10 innings.
Malone was great last night for the Twins. There's the Guthrie. next to Chris Young, last year's American League Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, even Chris Young faced Kyle Gibson here on Thursday night. He pitched well.
An extreme fly ball pitcher. He had great success last year with Seattle and having fine success this year as well.
Yeah, American League Comeback Player of the Year. He won 12 games for Seattle. 6'10". And he tops out at what, 87, 88 miles an hour, but
and every pitch is high, and yet it ends up working out. Yep. Oh, what a nasty off-speed pitch that one was.
And Herman knew it.
That'll be it. Runner stranded at first base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Soft drink of Major League Baseball, and by Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports. It's on to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, Paul Molitor doing a good job of depleting his bullpen. Casey Fiend coming in, the 5th reliever used by Paul Molitor. Fiend worked in last night's ball game, 1 inning. He did give up a couple runs and, a couple hits and a run. Gave up that base hit to Morales in the 8th inning that tied the game at 2 apiece after Kane got a 1-out single and stole second. Fiend, hard-throwing right-hander with a good cutter, and then a pitch he's been working on is that curveball. And Morales got the tie RBI that tied the game at 2 apiece in last night's ball game off of Fiend.
Shift on for Morales. Now tonight the Twins bullpen has really flipped the script. They have looked more like the Royals bullpen from the standpoint of 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, using now their 5th reliever. Taking a page from Kansas City a little bit.
Well, you don't want me to go back to the pitch count again, do you?
You know, they call that bird an alley-oop. And it's up to you if you want to let it fall flat on the floor or if you want to run.
Well, what you see is bullpens now have
there
8.
You go.
There's 8 out. I mean, even the Royals, 8 guys out there. 8 guys. It just ties the hands of the manager when you have to have that many relievers. And then when your starters average 5 innings, that puts added pressure on the bullpen. And that's why there's 8. You want me to keep going on?
There's a pregnant pause for a reason, Bert. Into left field, but the catch made there easily by Rosario.
Yeah, Morales hit it sharply, but right at Rosario in left field.
Now watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.com TV Premium. The #1 live streaming sports service, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, widget, and more. Every night on every device. Visit MLB.com, MLB.tv for details. But Bert, in all seriousness, one thing I know that you have said a number of times about why you were able to pitch so deep into games, so many complete games in your Hall of Fame career. Distance running was a big part of your training, and that's something that you think helped you a lot.
It helped me a lot. Yeah, everybody's different. You know, some guys can't go out and run 4 or 5 miles between starts and get ready for that next start. So you have to know what your body can do and what it cannot or do. The ball skips past Dozier as Gordon hits the ball sharply, and they give Gordon a base hit. But running was a big part of mine. Also the pool work. I jumped in the pool a lot, did a lot of resistance, didn't do a lot of weights. Because I always felt my arm was nothing more than a whip, and I didn't want to put a lot of weights on it. I did light weights, the Dr. Jobe exercises. But I think today, to Tommy John, this is my opinion, guys are lifting, and to throw a baseball, it's the opposite. It's the elasticity that your arm has to create to throw a baseball. And all the lifting is contracting. That rubber band in that elbow is popping.
All one to Perez, 1 out, 1 off.
And if we want to go one more step, kids out there, play other sports. Go play other sports. Just don't concentrate on one sport, being baseball. Especially teenage kids.
So much specialization now at the young levels.
And mom and dad, let your kids play the game.
This is walloped out to center field. Hicks has enough space.
There's all that room that we were talking about earlier here at Kauffman Stadium. 410 straight away. You need somebody out there that can cover some ground. Kane does it for the Royals. Aaron Hicks does it well for the Twins.
2 outs, Gordon at first. Rios stepping in. He's the tying run. Looking for his first hit tonight.
You know, there are times too you talk to people, and you know, somebody's good in football, somebody's also good in baseball, and the football coach says, I want you to concentrate just on football, not baseball. That's tough. So coaches have to relax a little bit too and let these kids develop in other sports.
Showcases have changed a lot, haven't they, Bert?
Yeah, they really have. I mean, you know, the travel teams, all that stuff. I have a grandson that's 10 years old. He's in a travel team, but my son Todd makes sure that he plays flag football. He plays other sports, gets away from the game for a while. And believe me, you do that, when you come back, you'll find out whether you love it or not, because if you love it, you'll want to go as soon as you can back to it. But get away from it for a while.
Rios just gets a piece on.
Did you play sports in high school?
I did. Many, not just one.
Yeah. What sports did you play?
The trifecta, Bert.
Did you?
Basketball, football, baseball.
Okay, very good. See, I played football 1 year, but I was tall and thin, and I got run over. So I thought he saw these guys running, and I thought, you know what? That might be good for endurance.
Sure.
Because after these guys were hitting me, you know, I was running off the field. I needed more endurance to run off the field. So it helped me in basketball and it helped me in baseball. It strengthened my legs. And I was always a believer that my arm was a whip, that if my legs got tired, then my arm got tired. My arm never got tired. That's the way I looked at it. But if my legs got tired, then I had to run more, because mind over matter. It's my world. You just pass.
Oh, we're just living in it right now, Bert. And we're loving every second.
Hey, let me get off my box here.
Hey, a lot of bananas too, right, Bert?
Yes. You ever seen a weak monkey?
There it is.
Potassium. You need potassium. Especially like tonight. I'm sure a lot of guys are drinking a lot of fluids out there. It's humid out there. You can almost see by the jerseys of the Twins. A lot of them are perspiring. Jerseys are wet.
Now that explains why I slipped walking into the booth tonight. The mark of Blyleven. Gordon at first base, the single to right. Perez was out to center. Nice at bat put together here by Rios, looking for his first hit. He represents a tie and run. Trying to get something going off of Casey Fiend.
Yeah, Casey Fiend in his 4th season with the Twins, with the Tigers for a couple years, done a good job out of that bullpen. He missed some time, almost a month with a right shoulder strain. From April 30th to May 29th, he was on a disabled list. Royals need this guy to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
Alex Rios.
Fantastic start, then missing 7 weeks. Hit by a pitch on the wrist.
Yep. When he came up with Toronto back in early 2000, you're thinking, oh my goodness, this guy is a great player. He was an all-star in 2006 and 7. Signed that big contract and then traded over to Chicago White Sox. Spent some time with the Rangers the last couple years. Career 278 hitter. You know, you see what his average is now, hitting at only 221. Only 1 home run. He's driven only 12.
No homers his last 35 games, as some trying to hold on here inside. The fireworks will wake her up. 2 outs, 1 on.
Casey Fiend yell right here on that previous pitch. A little upset at that high fastball.
Up the middle, Fiend knocks it down. A running start for round number 3. That ends 8 innings on this July 4th from Kauffman Stadium as the Twins hold to the lead. Get off again. The Royals, 1985, winning the World Series. The Twins finishing 4th in the American League West. Meanwhile, you fast forward to 87 and 91. Twins winning the World Series. The Royals 2nd and 6th in the West. And then, of course, last season, the Royals winning the wild card all the way on to the World Series to Game 7, and the Twins had a very rough go. Although their offense wasn't bad, but they finished last in the division.
They had a very good second half for the Twins, but again, the starting pitching just didn't keep them into a lot of ball games. And what the Royals are trying to do, they're trying to win a division for the first time since '85. Last year they went to the World Series, but they were the wild card.
They have never won the Central. They have only won the American League West.
Well, Jason Frazier coming in the top of the 9th inning. Danny Santana, the first batter he faces, tries to bunt. And Frazier, like all the relievers out of that bullpen for the Royals, having a very solid year. His 26th relief appearance. Walks to innings pitched a little high, 15, 2 intentional in 22 1/3 innings. Frazier in his second season with the Royals, 37 years old. He was a free agent at the end of the year and wanted to re-sign with Kansas City, which he did.
Right there to Infante. Round number 1. Well, Bert, at this rate, we will be seeing right now the best closer in baseball, Glenn Perkins, and he has been lights out. 26 for 26, one-time starter, and he has thrived this year.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's warming up in the bullpen out there now. And Eddie Guardado, another lefty as a bullpen coach, coaching him. It's good to see Eddie awake.
Dozier swings and misses on the first pitch.
Yeah, Frazier has a very good changeup. A fastball still at 37 that can get that fastball in the low 90s. Good slider. Frazier's pitched for the Blue Jays, White Sox, Rangers in his second season here in Kansas City.
Dozier had the leadoff single. He came around to score on Mauer's homer. Second batter of the ball game.
Yeah, 62nd time that Brian Dozier has touched home plate this year. Came in tied with Donaldson for most run scoring in the American League.
Bert, we were talking earlier about the standings in the Central and how the Tigers are in third place entering today 40 and 39, and we made note of Miguel Cabrera on the disabled list for the first time in his career, a left calf strain, 6 weeks. So for a team that is barely keeping its head above water, that is a huge loss.
That's a huge loss, and Verlander's been giving up some home runs and he's been struggling a little bit. So yeah, but you know what, a lot of resistance. Great effort right there by Hosmer as he slides into the tarp. Tarp just comes up a little bit short. Hosmer, a Gold Glove winner. I think as he got closer, he just didn't want to make sure he didn't make contact with that tarp. Slides early, has no chance to catch that foul ball. Good effort.
Finishing that thought on Cabrera, batting .350 to lead the American League.
Still a long way to go, though.
Dozier down on strikes. Frazier's first punch out. 2 outs.
Well, it's a 7 strikeout for the Royals staff here this afternoon. Good hard slider. And you can see Perez how low he gets, and Dozier strikes out for the first time in the ball game.
3 hits tonight for Mauer for the first time since April of this year. He has not had a 4-hit game, believe it or not, since August of 2013. Starts him off with ball one.
I know, I don't know what that is, but this is the first time I think I've seen Joe get 3 hits to right field. The home run went to right field. Both his other hits, singles, went to right field. Normally he's always up the middle. You can see how even the defense of the Royals, how they play him, especially the outfield.
He's ahead 2-0. You get a look there.
Here in the background, some of the celebrating already starting here. The 4th of July. Everybody be safe and happy 4th of July.
Post-game fireworks following this one tonight. In this right center field, a base hit, a 4-hit night for Joe Mauer. And he's on his way to second base. Cruises in with a double. So a homer, a double, and a couple of singles.
He's got such a smooth swing, and again, he came into this season a .319 career hitter. A breaking ball down, it just goes down so good power right there by Joe. If you're a young kid out there, you're a left-handed hitter, you want to emulate Joe Mauer if you can. 4 hits here tonight for Joe. And that double is 15th double of the year.
Clears the plate for Torrey Hunter. Looking for hit number 1. A sac fly his last time up.
Torrey, good numbers against Frazier. 4 hits in 14 at bats. A double, couple home runs. And Perez going out to talk to his right-hander.
Now, Torrey had what sounded like a couple of offers on the table for him during the winter, both with Texas and also by Kansas City. They really would have liked to have Hunter, but he came back, a 1-year deal, and a lucrative one at that with the Twins.
And that's what kind of made them go out and get Alex Rios, because Torrey decided to go back to Minnesota. Mentioned earlier, Torrey signed by the Twins back in 1993 out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Two outs, Mauer at second with the double.
There are certain guys who walk into the clubhouse and you smile just when you see them. Kirby Puckett was that way. When I played in Pittsburgh, Willie Stargell was that way. They just lit up the clubhouse. Torrey's, as I mentioned before, took that torch from Kirby Puckett. He's always finds a way to get a smile on his face. Win or lose, there's a positive in Torrey Hunter. And he's been a great mentor to a lot of the young kids that the Twins are bringing up.
Well, Hunter has played in nearly 50 postseason games, has never played in a World Series. And you talk about being a mentor, Bert. When you start to ask around the league, it's not just Twins players he'll talk to. And Kirby Puckett was the same way. Did not discriminate whether you're on his side or the other. They'll talk to you.
And he has fun with the opposing players. 9-time Gold Glove winner Torrey Hunter, 5-time All-Star. And you're right, that's one thing he's missing, is that World Series ring.
Two outs, Mauer stands at second, the 2-base hit, his 4th hit of the night, season high. Pops him up, foul ground, but out of Perez's range. Well, this is turning out to be a patient crowd here tonight. Fireworks to follow.
Well, they're hoping in the 9th inning they can get up and applaud like they did in the 9th and 10th last night.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Full count.
Yeah, good stop by Perez. Keeps Mauer at second. Torrey with 12 home runs on the year, 343 career home runs.
Loof would be next. He's hoping for a chance at the cycle. He needs the home run. Time call.
I think the veteran Torrey Hunter got away with that. Normally when that pitcher gets in that stretch position, Torrey called time, and it's up to the home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale, if he gives it to him or not. And he gave it to Torrey.
It continues. Santana the ground out, Dozier the strikeout, Mauer doubled. And a lengthy battle here with Hunter. Pitch number 7 coming up. Twins wouldn't mind tacking on a run or two. Playable to right center. And Lorenzo Cain on his horse, and he's able to full extension of the arm and make the catch. Hunter is out, Mauer is stranded as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Final 3 outs for the Royals. Twins leading 5-3, and Bert, they're about to face one of the toughest right now in the game, Glenn Perkins.
Well, Glenn Perkins coming in, making his 35th relief appearance. He got the save here on Thursday night in the 2-0 win over the Royals. And here comes the crowd. They're trying to get their Royals back into this ball game. But Perkins is 26 for 26 in save opportunities.
Now, not an easy go. He'll face 9-1-2 for Kansas City. From a fan's perspective tonight, you were hoping that you would see either Perkins or Greg Holland from the Royals, and these two have been two of the best closers in recent years. Infante a bunt, strike 1. Perkins a starter 2008, 2009, an all-star each of his last 2 years after taking over the 9th inning duties. And it's 0-2.
Yeah, Perkins uses just a fastball, hard breaking ball, an occasional changeup. Royals have the season advantage right now, 7-4. And in a 4 wins for the Twins, Perkins has a save in all 4 games. Perkins in his 10th season with the Twins, 32 years old. 2-time All-Star the last couple years.
Time call. Infante singled and scored to the 5th. All 3 runs for the Royals that inning. As he just gets a piece. No, he doesn't. On his way now to first base.
And again, Chris Herman does a great job of blocking that strikeout pitch right there and throws Infante out at first.
Hope you can tune in tomorrow on Fox Sports North and Kansas City for the final game of the series. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Right now the series tied at 1.
Perkins averaging about a strikeout per inning, 30 strikeouts. Now in 33 2/3 innings. Excellent control. He's walked only 5.
Two outs to go for Perkins. And that is a nice pitch to make it 0-2.
Well, Perkins is a guy kind of a lot like Eddie Guardado. Came up, basically they tried to put him in that starting rotation. It really didn't work. They put him in the bullpen. He had a chance to kind of watch Joe Nathan go about his business, and he kind of learned from Joe Nathan, and he's taken over the closer role.
And if he picks up the save here tonight, that would mean 27 straight. That would tie the franchise record set by Nathan. One out, nobody on. 0-2 to Escobar.
Perkins, born in St. Paul, Minnesota, went to the University of Minnesota.
Chasing for it outside, gets him with the off-speed pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Oh, Escobar again, a guy that doesn't walk much, chases a pitch, a breaking ball out and away, and Herman again has to reach out and make a nice catch. So 2 straight strikeouts for Perkins here tonight.
Well, a big thanks to the producer of today's game, Jeff Gowan, and the director, Rich Russo, the associate director, Rich Gross, and broadcast associate, Mike Strack. The producer of the pregame show, Jonathan Kaplan, and a big thanks as well to the locals from Kansas City helping up in the truck today on a holiday. We certainly appreciate it. It's been a fine show.
Well, Perkins coming in, throwing strikes, 9 pitches, 8 strikes, a couple strikeouts. And Moustakas swinging at a high fastball, clocked at 95.
One strike away from save number 27. Already leading baseball in that category. Here it comes. Off the plate.
Herman taking that off the right wrist area. .34 saves last year, 36 saves in 2013. And Moustakas just gets a piece to keep the bat going.
It's been almost nothing but strikes.
You know, it's made Perkins a good closer. He said when he set up Joe Nathan, he said sometimes I would come in the 7th or 8th inning and the game would be more pressure then than sometime in the 9th. He looks at the 9th inning. Hey, you know, the 5 other guys before me put me in this situation.
Does not go in the check swing. That's an interesting observation. 13 pitches, 10 strikes from Perkins. 2-2 to Moustakas. Last hope for the Royals. And a soft pop-up. Shallow left field. Rosario is there to make the catch, and the Twins win it. They've taken 2 of the first 3 of this 4-game set. And Bert, as we begin to wrap this one up tonight, the Twins, well, they ambushed Blanton in the first inning, and then the bullpen really took over.
Yeah, they really did. They did a good job. Mike Pelfrey struggled over the first 4 innings, especially the 5th inning. He really struggled. He coming out of the ball game. 6 different relievers put some zeros on the board, and the Twins win. Games that really they must win here to stay close to Kansas City.
Hope you can stay with us on this July 4th. Back to Kauffman Stadium in just a moment.